Good, everybody. So we're back with another episode of Top Five Live, our last of the year before New Year's hits. Uh, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? Episode 24, which means episode 25, which is like, I think it's like a commemoration joint, or it should be, will be, when episode 25 comes, will be in 2022. You know what I'm saying? On to some great things. The 2021 has been a great year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been
Has it
in some
though?
ways. In some ways, I had to catch myself. I had to catch myself. In some ways, 2021 has been a great year. There have been, just like every other year, there have been topsy turvy things. There have been things that were not good, and that's one of the reasons I'm happy to talk about the subject that the top five that we're doing tonight, which is top five best things of 2021 for each of us. I didn't keep, so I left the personal stuff out because I figured that could be talked about as something separate, and left it to something that and that's why I tried to explain it in the caption. Like it could be from entertainment, sports, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I left the personal stuff because I could talk about this somewhere else. Wow, okay, that is better. Um, Make sure y'all hit us, what I'm saying, at these websites and go follow us. Of course, the easiest way is to go on YouTube, look up Fourth Wall Pros, and subscribe there. You'll never miss a show, and you can catch all of them. We have the playlist up there for you to catch every episode we've ever done. You can also need to go to visualstoked.com to check out my boy Javon and all the great content my boy has over there. And I think he also has a link for top five over there. He's got heat. He's got I'm sure you have pictures of the cons that you've been to up there somewhere.
Yeah,
But
I got some. Not this year though. I'm
oh no,
yeah, I'm redesigning the website, so I'm trying to
okay.
get some stuff.
Well, regardless, go subscribe. You know what I'm saying? No reason for you not to go subscribe right now. Want to make sure I get that up there. And like I said, man, so we doing the top five best things of 2021, man. I love, you know what? I'm not a Scrooge, or I try not to be, but New Year's to me is it. New Year's means more to me than Christmas does. Just me personally, because when I think about New Year's, it makes me look back over the year as a whole and assess on my progress. Like what I'm saying, like what goals I had. Did I achieve those goals? Like things I want to do better than next year, things that I want to celebrate from last year, things that were hard that year. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, it just means more to me. Like to me personally, and I think I've said this before. I don't remember if Danny disagreed with me or not, but I think we talked about it. Like to me, I don't know why we don't give gifts on New Year's. Like I don't get it. Like it's perfect.
We got enough stuff to give gifts on, bro.
Uh,
You're trying to kill my wallet, man.
no,
Trying to
no,
kill my wallet.
I'm saying save your wallet for Christmas and just give it on New Year's. Like why do both? Just do it on New Year's. But that's neither here nor there. um, so all right, so we can get into the best. Y'all know at the normal hour, about halfway through, maybe a little bit more. Um, One of the other topics that I wanted to get into tonight, and it depends on which one y'all want to start with first. I personally, I mean, yes, we definitely have to talk about Insecure quickly, at least. You know what I'm saying? Like the final episode. For those who have not watched, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want spoilers, look away from the screen or mute it. Don't
Just
turn
mute
it
us
off.
for a minute.
You know what I'm saying? Just mute it. And Danny probably didn't watch it anyway, so it don't matter. Uh,
Daddy, I just don't get why you. Never mind. Not
But
getting
the hero anti-hero conversation is the one that I want to wade into a little bit before we get into the best list. But I think we probably should start with Insecure. Like our um, thoughts at the least. Whether you want to put spoilers on it or not, at least put the thoughts up of like what you thought of the finale. I know me and Javon watched. Danny didn't, and I know Nadia had hit me up earlier telling me that she literally binged the whole show, starting the day before yesterday, and she finished it today. So,
Dang,
uh, yeah. So,
that's a lot
um,
of watching. That's a lot of TV watching.
yeah. But I mean, if there's a show to binge, look, if Insecure just dropped and I never watched it, I could easily binge it. You know what I'm saying? The
That's
whole thing.
actually how my wife and I got into it. We'd heard about it and we sat and watched the whole first season in like one night. I feel like it was like one night.
Yeah, I can. That's an easily bingeable show, especially
Yeah.
because it's only 30-minute episodes. So you could definitely binge it. And once you get into the story, like I said, it's easily bingeable. Me personally, so I'll give the spoiler free thing first of my thoughts. I was extremely happy with the end. Uh, I feel like it's more for me bittersweet because the show is gone. You know what I'm saying? Altogether, like that sucks. This Nadia here, I watched the whole show in 2 days. She didn't sleep at all. Jesus, how many of you take a nap after the show? But yeah, man, I was extremely happy with the ending, especially. I mean, like I said, we're going to spoilers anyway. If y'all ain't watching finale by now, you ain't a fan anyway. So, uh, um, the wedding was dope. Of course,
Who got married?
Molly.
Danny just like whatever. I don't care. Spoil it. I don't care.
He really don't care. Molly got married. That was dope. Seeing all that greatness there, you know what I'm saying? Seeing Kelly boot up, you know what I'm saying? Like, um,
Kelly was
uh,
the funny friend, right? The
yeah.
one who was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Seeing Kelly boot up. Issa, of course, for me the highlight was Issa and Lawrence because, like, me and Javon talked about this the other week. Like, to me, and somebody said this on Facebook earlier, and I said you are 100% correct. Because remember we talked about it, I said, look, anybody that comes into that orbit between those two right now just gonna get destroyed, and there's nothing you can do about it because they love each other, bruh. If they love each other, there is no other. You can come there and be okay for a second, but you will never be the other one. You will always lose that battle at all points, at all times, and it's not.
Yep.
And Issa and Lawrence are yeah, I was Team Lawrence too. Um, Issa and Lawrence were both complicit in that though, like in destroying those people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Because Lawrence
Were
knew.
they? Were they?
Yes, because
Yeah.
Lawrence knew how he felt about Issa. So you doing the same thing to them. You knew how you felt about Issa this whole time, bro.
Yeah,
So
but it was, and we talked about this last week. It was more.
agreed. I agree, Nadia.
I feel like every time Lawrence is trying to push away, or Issa will push him away, then she'd be like, "Oh wait, maybe not," and then she would go back into his life
I
after
agree.
he done moved on and pull him back in, and then she push him back out, and then they like she literally the whole show is one big. I said this to my cousin. I was like, "Yo, Issa is a female version of
I
Future."
agree, Ruckus.
Like Issa just be
That's
like
hilarious.
randomly texting Lawrence. Like, yeah, I was thinking about you and about all the things that are going on in my life, and maybe we should have worked it out. And then she'll try for like 5 minutes. Nope, not working out. Push Lawrence away. Lawrence go
I
about
get
his
it.
life, fix his life. Then she come right back.
I get it, but I still agree with what Nadia and Ruckus are saying. Like Lawrence can't absolve himself of the same. I don't care. Like Nathan had a good statement when they talked, and Nathan said when Nathan said, "What's up, little man?" Uh, Nathan said that he was trying to ignore the feeling that he had the whole time. And one thing I think all of us as adults have started to learn as we get older is go with your
Go.
gut, bruh.
Don't get to go.
Go with your gut. You know what I'm saying? If your gut's telling you something, more often than not is right. And Nathan knew something was going on. Nathan knew something was wrong. He just was fighting it. But I also get Nathan's perspective too. Is that you want to he wants to give himself to the relationship because he knows he's been holding back too. You know what I'm saying? So it is a tough situation, but ultimately, I was glad to see them. I was glad to see them together. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it should have been this whole time, and they were just wasting time of everybody else. Like literally, they wasted everybody else. Everybody else that they date, they just wasted their time. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all knew how y'all felt about each other this whole time, and you knew you was gonna f everybody else up. Um, The truth
I
is
mean,
that
Nathan was 100% on. Like
I agree with that 100%, Ruckus. I agree with that 100%.
No, they definitely. I'm not saying that Lawrence didn't love her, and I'm not saying that Issa didn't love him. I'm just saying that she was never really fully ready to love him until that last episode. You understand what I'm saying? Like
I don't
she
know
was
about
like,
that.
because think about it for a second. When she initially had an issue with him because he was depressed, going through whatever at the beginning, and then when she went out and basically did her dirt, and then he kind of got his stuff together, but by the time he got himself together, she had already did wrong, and then they destroyed that relationship at that point, and then they tried again, and then I feel like for her, she was just trying. She was never her insecurities, obviously, because name shows name Insecure, kept damaging her to the point where she realized like it's okay to be insecure, but also, look it head on and deal with it. Like she never really dealt with it. She just kind of pushed it to the side. That's how, at least my
that last comment. I would like to discuss that.
Yeah, go ahead.
The one that said loving each other doesn't mean you have to be together. Y'all agree?
I agree with that.
I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay.
Because it depends. Because I mean, so there are levels to love. There's levels to love. So I mean, if you love somebody romantically, on that level, there could be certain situations and circumstances where you have to love that person enough to let them go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's one reason. Two, you could love somebody but not love them. You could love somebody, be with that person, and then come to a realization that you love that person, you always will, but that's not your person though. Like that's not your partner. That's a person that you always supposed to be there to care for. You'll always care for them. You always want the best for them. And it doesn't mean that's your partner. That doesn't mean that's your other half, your second piece, whatever you want to call it, soulmate, all that.
I disagree with that comment right there.
What?
It said relationships take more than love. Love ain't even in my top 5. That's crazy. If you ain't got love, if love ain't in your top 5, then what you doing?
Next episode, top 5 traits to a happy relationship.
Hey, I'm down for that. I mean, communicate. Hey, well, let me. Yeah, I won't start giving away stuff early, but
yeah, you can't. You just giving away the milk, man. What you doing?
Listen, yeah, but
I would say communication is in the top 5, and love is in the top 5 too.
Yeah, love is in my top 5 for sure.
It's got to be in the top. It's got to be like top 3.
Love, chemistry, communication.
I'm not giving mine away like Morgan is. I'm gonna hold on to mine.
Y'all don't know why I'm ranking them.
I do. Don't matter.
And there still might be other things that come into play that
Morgan gonna change his list 7 times before the show.
I know, right?
Why y'all be hating on me on my list, bro? I don't understand. Love is never enough to maintain
before this show was over. You're gonna change.
Love is what creates a healthy the experience of love.
Yeah, we're not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not enough to maintain a relationship.
You need love for your relationship. I mean, I can't. Listen, whatever works for you, but I can't be in a relationship. I can't be in a romantic relationship with somebody I don't love. I mean, let me rephrase that. I can't be in a long-term romantic relationship with somebody that I don't at least get to the point of being in love with them at some point. I mean, you could be in a relationship and not be in love. That's most relationships start that way. You don't start out in love with people.
Correct.
But like if we're talking like a long-term thing, like that's just heavy like. That
is a really good friends. That's a really good topic though. Like what Danny said actually would be a good topic and conversation. If we do that though, we definitely have to
that's a deeper dive.
We got to have a queen on though for that.
That's fair. That's fair.
I didn't say you don't love them. I just said it's not the most.
We didn't say that either.
Yeah, but I mean, you said it on the top
not
five. That's what I think is.
See, this is deep. We going too deep.
Yeah. So, I was
we had to save it for another day.
The only reason I didn't put up the picture of Issa, Molly, and Lawrence on my profile background earlier today was because I was like, well, there still might be people that haven't seen it yet. I ain't gonna do it yet, but that's definitely going up tomorrow immediately, because that it says 1,000 words, because that's more so. Like, somebody made a good point last night. It was saying that the show, like, Issa and Lawrence is great, but what happened between Issa and Molly was actually the show. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with that 100%. So
You talking about their friendship?
Yeah.
All I know, Yvonne cut her hair at the end. That's what I saw. That's the only thing I saw.
I can't talk with Diddy about this, man.
That wasn't a big deal.
Diddy talk. Oh yeah. She had a good haircut. She had a great haircut.
Nah, it wasn't a big deal.
Screenshot. I was like, I remember she had long hair.
That's Diddy's.
In season 1, I know she had long hair.
That's Diddy's contribution to this conversation. Man, her haircut is fine, man. I like that haircut.
Like, bro, why she cut her hair?
It was a friendship thing, but you may be. I don't know.
Do y'all want to touch on the Busta Rhymes Jay-Z thing? To me, it's a very simple thing.
So here's the thing: if you get into that, though, we're not gonna have time for the other conversation.
Why not?
You think we'll have time?
You gotta remember, I've been discussing this for the last 3 days, so I'm not gonna have much to say.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Okay.
My point is quick and to the point. I'm not saying that Busta Rhymes cannot match up with Jay-Z and make it like interesting, right? Busta Rhymes has a great catalog of music for the songs that he has that are absolute hits. He's a very energetic rapper. He's a stupidly talented rapper, right? The point, and the only thing I'm saying is, like, people kept saying that it's going to be like Lots versus Dipset, and I'm like, the nerve of somebody to compare Jay-Z to Dipset is grotesque. Number one. Number two.
Wait, are they were saying that Jay-Z would be the Dipset in that?
Yes, they were saying Jay-Z is Dipset, because they said Busta's gonna get. They said Busta's gonna get on stage, and his energy and him rapping and him spitting is gonna outdo whatever Jay-Z does, because he's laid back. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Jay-Z has more charisma than people give him credit for.
What?
That's what I'm saying. People be tripping.
Hold up.
But the whole
he's gonna run out of hits before 20. Are you listen? Y'all ain't gonna disrespect.
Who's gonna run out of hits before 20?
That's what. I don't know. Is that Nadia?
Yeah, she's not talking about Jay-Z though. I think she's talking about Busta.
You're not talking about either of them.
No, that's part of my
more
argument.
than 20 hits.
Are you sure? I don't think
Positive.
So.
Between his albums and features.
Not that everybody knows. That everybody knows.
Yes.
Nah, I don't believe
Dude,
it.
I could probably name.
I looked at the catalog.
I could probably name 20 right now.
I looked at the catalog. When I was looking at his catalog of songs,
features too, bro. It's features.
I am counting the features.
Bro.
20 though?
Yes.
With features, Busta definitely got
20.
He got
listen.
He got 10
Busta
to 15.
Got more than 20.
He got 10 to 15 of his own. And then features, he got
10.
Busta got 10 to 15 of his own.
He's got 10 of his own, right?
He does not have 10, dude.
He's got what, one with Janet, like maybe 2 or 3 with Mariah.
Bro. You disrespecting Busta right now, man.
I'm not. Listen, this is what I'm saying.
He off of his first 3 albums, he's got at least 15 songs.
That everybody knows?
Yes.
No, he doesn't.
Y'all gonna
he does not.
Y'all gonna make me do it.
I'm
not gonna make you do it. I agree with you.
You're not gonna disrespect Busta Rhymes like that.
Let's save it. Let's save it, because
I just why I told you.
Let me just say what my point is, since I'm actually live now and I can say it instead of typing it. I do not believe for a second that Busta Rhymes' catalog could compare to Jay-Z's catalog.
If we're just talking the 20 best songs, absolutely. If we're talking their catalog as a whole, no.
Even in 20 best, Busta does not beat Jay-Z.
I didn't say beat.
He does not beat Jay-Z 11 out of 20 times.
I think
round for round.
I think people.
That's how Versus works.
Yes, Versus work. You take 20 songs, and you put their best 20 songs.
I understand that, bro.
You put their 20 and their 20. If Hove came up and put his best 20 songs, and Busta came up and put his best 20 songs, it's a lot closer than people like to believe.
I didn't say it's not close. What I said is he can't win.
I never said he could win though.
I think he could win though.
Like, I don't know if he could. I think if it's live though, like if it's live, I think once again, not saying it would be live. But what I'm saying is, if it's a live performance, Busta is a better live performer than Jay-Z.
I think
that's Jacoby's point.
I think Busta's features are going to put him over Jay though. I think Busta's features are going to put him over Jay in a verse.
Well, here's the thing about Hove though. This is what I say about Jay-Z. Jay-Z doesn't even have to touch his features.
Exactly. Jay-Z can go and do 20 with no features.
Well, yeah, he can go straight 20 with no features.
I agree with you, but what I'm saying is that 10 of Busta's songs, 10 of Busta's hits plus 10 of his features are going to be better than 20 Jay-Z songs.
Wait, you mean without Jay-Z bringing in features, or you mean period?
I don't think Jay-Z has the featured catalog that. I mean, just off the top of my head, I don't think Jay-Z has. I don't think his feature catalog touches Busta at all. But,
I think you gotta look at Jay-Z's. I think you gotta look at Jay-Z's catalog.
I just counted 15 for Busta right now. I'm just saying. I'm just saying I counted 15.
When we were talking about this the other day, I named 31 songs of Jay-Z's, and I left off at least 5 features.
I just said that if you talk about his catalog as a whole, if you're taking Jay-Z's catalog and then you're taking Busta's catalog, Jay-Z has a better catalog. But if we're talking verses,
what is this? What are you asking me?
Jay got
go ahead, Javon. I'm sorry. I'm trying to read what he's asking.
If you're just talking the top 20,
yes, he did. Nas beat. See, so that's another thing.
Nas is not even close to Jay-Z on verses. It's not close.
No, he's saying
not close. I'll say that right here. Not
so
close.
I originally thought that. When I originally thought that, right? And I was having a conversation with somebody online. I originally thought that, and I was having a conversation with somebody online, and then they put up Nas's songs, and I said, "You right? I said you might be right. This will be closer than I think it is. Jay is still gonna win, but it'll be closer than I thought it would be."
Hits. Nas has great songs, but Nas doesn't have a ton of hits.
Nas has got hits. 10 hits, maybe.
Nas got hits.
Nas does not have 20 though.
You don't need 20 to win a versus. You need at least 11. You need 11. It's 11. It goes round by round.
Jay-Z. If you're going against Jay-Z, you need 20.
You need 20.
I don't disagree with that. I do not disagree with that.
Yeah, like
okay. Wait. Let me address the people saying that Jay got bodied on his own joints. No question.
Jay did not get bodied
on Renegade, and Nas bodied him in the verses.
M did not body Jay. Listen, y'all need to stop.
Yes, he did.
Nonsense, man. M did not body Jay-Z on Renegade, folks.
What are you talking about?
Y'all need to stop.
No, bro.
Y'all need to stop, man.
You're tripping.
I've been saying this for years, dude. He did not get him on him. Y'all need to stop that. I think there's a lot of Eminem. I think there are a lot of Eminem stands that want to believe Eminem is the GOAT. And so they say these things.
Jay got Eminem in his GOAT list.
Huh?
Yeah. Jay got Eminem in his GOAT list.
Jay, listen, let's be real. Jay-Z is the GOAT, folks. Jay-Z is the GOAT of hip-hop. Yes, he is. Nobody has a catalog that can go with him. Nobody's been as financially successful. Nobody's been as successful on the charts. Nobody's crossovered between hip-hop and everywhere as much as he has. Now, there are other rappers who might be better than him, but they ain't the GOAT.
He got bodied on Renegade. Yeah, he did.
He didn't get bodied on. Y'all need to stop that.
No, he did. Did Nas beat him? Did Nas win?
On what?
Did Nas win that battle?
Nas is a better lyricist than Jay-Z. I've
Did he
never
win,
said
though?
that.
No, I'm
Yeah.
just asking you. I'm not
Yes.
accusing you. I'm
Yes.
just asking.
Ether, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I wasn't accusing you. I was just asking.
No. I'm saying Ether, absolutely. But not M. Y'all need to stop that, man.
Whoa, wait a minute. S. Carter was trash. Huh? Who said that? Who typed this blasphemy? They always got bodied, and yet M has never gotten a J feature, has he? I don't know how that's relevant.
In the Crusade. What are you talking about?
I love M, and he is top 5, and I actually like his verse, but he didn't get bodied. Okay. Okay. I look.
M did not bother him on. Y'all need to stop that, man.
I will make sure that I can see. I say one more time. I'm not saying Busta Rhymes cannot give Jay a run for his money in a versus battle, especially live. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that he can't win. He cannot beat him.
I tell you who could get Jay, and we don't want to talk about it.
Don't say anybody stupid.
Misdemeanor Elliott.
Javon, I'll cut your freaking camera off right now.
You could do that.
Don't
she got hits. She got just as many hits, and she could go to her song she's produced.
I would put Missy on producers list versus rapping.
She's got hit.
She belongs over because
between her features and her own hits. Y'all need to stop, man.
I would put Missy on on a producer's battle.
Y'all
I would put Missy on a producer. Right, you said Missy can beat Jay-Z in a verse.
I said she can be close. She can be closer than Busta.
Nah. Busta Rhymes can have it close.
Snoop will be close to Jay.
Yeah, but there's people that think Snoop lost to X.
X can be close. X could be close to Jay.
No,
let's be real. X had hits. X had hits and he had features.
All these artists have hits and features. Hold on. Okay, so out of all the versus battles that we watched, right?
Busta is not the only one to be close.
Busta's not the only one to make it close. So okay,
y'all forgetting how many hits.
Let me give you the other people the people I would choose to go up against Jay-Z in the verses. One of which doesn't count because he said he wouldn't do it.
50 wouldn't be close.
Kanye's number one. I would
Kanye.
I would put Kanye up.
Yeah.
Kanye said he won't do it though, right? So Kanye's out. I would put Drake against Jay-Z because it'd be a generational thing then, and Jay has a real chance at losing based on that.
So I have a theory about that. So the thing about the Drake and Jay-Z thing is that is really separated along.
Nadia, that's it. That's my list too. Those are my 3. The other one was Weezy.
Lil Wayne. Man, get out of here.
Don't you ever do your face like that about Weezy's
when we do it again? Lil Wayne, get out of here.
That's
the thing about Drake. Hold on. The thing about Drake and Jay-Z is that
50 can make it close. 50 cannot make it close with Jay-Z.
50 ain't making it close, man. 50 got to go to G Unit. 50 got to bring in G Unit songs, man.
Who said Papoose? Who? Todd? I swear this better not be you, big bro. I swear you better not have just said that on this here thing right here. I know you didn't just say that.
Danny? What happened?
He go against Jay-Z. I don't know if his signal dropped out. He'll text in a minute.
But see, the thing that people don't quite understand.
Freestyle idea. Well, Jay ain't gonna get on. It's not a
freestyle too, man. Like people act
but Busta should win that. But I don't know. I haven't seen Busta come straight off the top. Because
Busta can go, man.
No, but what I'm saying what I'm saying is, you know how Sway talked about this. There are people that come on there for Sway and they doing the 5 fingers of death, right? When they come up there, Sway counts both. He counts it if they wrote it before and perform it now and have to come off, and he also counts the ones that come off the top. But if you're coming straight off the top, I think he gives a little bit more salt to those, which I do too. But I can't disrespect you if you wrote it ahead of time, go when you get there, and then you kind of like have to trail after that. But I mean, I would be more
5 Papoose hits. Can you name 5?
I can't.
Hits.
I don't know
songs you like that was on the album. that drop not his, not a freestyle album. 5 Papoose songs, hits. I got nothing against Papoose as a rapper. Dude can flow.
Yeah, I don't. It's not. See, that's the other thing
we talk about heavyweights now.
Yeah, we're literally talking. This is the GOAT conversation right now. So that's the other thing I was telling Jacoby. I said there is nobody that when you ask them who the GOATs are of hip hop, not a soul says Busta Rhymes. Nobody, and that's no disrespect to him. It's no disrespect to him, but there's nobody that says Busta Rhymes is in the GOAT list. Nobody says that. You know whose name? You know whose name consistently comes up? And I just watched it the other night with the rappers that are in the game today. Jay-Z's name comes up all the time in the GOAT conversation. That's another thing you have going against you. Now, when the Versus comes on, Busta can bring out Mariah, Janet, and it's going to explode out there for sure. But then Jay can bring out Beyonce, Rihanna, Ye, DJ Khaled. He could bring out people too, and if it becomes a like bringing people on stage thing, you're not getting ready to beat Jay on that. I can't think anybody's getting ready to beat Jay on bringing people on stage.
Get on stage.
No, Spliff is gonna bring it's gonna be amazing. I'm not look, if that versus happened, I will not miss a second of it. Okay, that I'm not saying.
I'm just saying, like, I think that might be one where people might be like, man, I don't know about that one. But like,
3 Stacks.
But then you talking Outkast.
I don't think 3 Stacks got 20 though, does it? I mean, if you
you talking Outkast
then. But I'm saying, is it fair to count Outkast and not just his?
Andre 3000 don't have an album by himself unless you counting The Love Below.
The Love Below. I mean, that's why I'm saying 3 Stacks can't really be in it. But what I'm saying is, like, nobody wants smoke with Outkast in a groups battle.
Wu-Tang is the only group.
But you can't take them out by themselves.
Not the only group.
Wu-Tang is not touching Outkast. Nobody's Outkast in a group battle.
What?
I wouldn't want to see Outkast at all.
Wait a minute. Did you just say
in a rap group
ain't
battle?
touching Outkast?
No, not in 20 songs. Not for 20 songs. No.
BJ, I can too. I'm just saying that Hov is going to win.
Stop, man.
I'm not saying Busta's not gonna have it close. I'm not saying we ain't all gonna be sweating from dancing in the house.
Stop, man.
All I'm saying is when it comes to who won, I don't think Hov can lose.
I'm not gonna sit here and say Outkast is gonna win. Or is going Wu-Tang is gonna beat Outkast.
Oh, snap, Nadia.
But Wu-Tang got 20. Wu-Tang could get 20 classic hits, just like Outkast can. It'll be a tie like a mug. That's a tie.
We definitely got to circle. We got to circle back.
This is why I told you about this topic. I tried to tell you.
You did.
Tribe Called Quest.
I thought I could do it quick and get up out of there, but
I love Outkast. I love Outkast, but there are a lot of groups out there that
Tribe
are very
beats Outkast. Really?
Tribe.
Really? Really though? The only rap group I'm putting against Outkast is Wu-Tang, and that's because they're legendary. That's it, though. I'm not putting anybody else against Outkast. Not as a group. I wouldn't even put the Lox against Outkast because if Jada gets up there and spits, 3 Stacks will get up there and spit too.
I was going to say you don't want to do that. You don't want to put.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's no.
I don't think the Lox would do that. I don't even think the Lox would take that.
I don't think anybody wants smoke with Outkast in a rap group battle.
I honestly like. I was kind of shocked, like that the Lox smoke Dipset. Like
I agree, Amadi. I agree, Amadi. Tribe does not beat Outkast. That's crazy talk. That's crazy. that's nah. And it's no disrespect to Tribe Called Quest, but Outkast, nah.
But see, if you
think about the thing, people can both play straight up.
When you talk not even counting ATL. When you talking verses, you talking like songs like when you drop the song, everybody in the audience knows the song.
But that
like you can't like Tribe Called Quest. If you put Tribe up there against Outkast, like Tribe could drop a song and like hip hop heads might know it, but like there other people might be like, yeah, I don't really know this song.
But that's
what Dipset. That's the problem. Dipset tried. They kept They kept putting songs that people like half the audience was like, yeah, I don't really know that.
But that's my point with Busta versus Jay. Jay has at least 20 songs, at least that I don't care which
And
one he
Busta
plays,
all right.
everybody
You make me
knows.
do this. I'm about to do it.
We talking about everybody knows though.
Woo-ha. Everybody know woo-ha.
Okay.
Everybody know hit 'em high.
Listen quick. And then we can get
Put
to
your
that
hands where your eyes can see. Dangerous.
How many is that? 2 or 3?
What? I just named 4 songs right there.
All right, so that's 4. Go ahead.
Give me
Keep
some
going.
more. What's it gonna be? Parties going on over here. Tear the roof off. Break your neck. Pass the Cavassier. Make it clap. I know what you want. Light your ass on fire. Touch it. I love my chick. I mean, I didn't even count. Did somebody count Arab money? I mean,
you think everybody knows Arab money?
Arab money was a banger for
flavor in your ear.
months.
I didn't even hit, but that's
I had no idea
I didn't even
what
get
that
to the
is.
features. I just
Arab
did
money
song.
was hot, yeah.
Arab money was a hit, dude.
But okay, so you're naming them, but are you naming? You think
I
he's
just
gonna
named
take
his
every
hits.
round they play? In?
Yes. I ain't even named
What?
his features yet.
No. I said, do you think he's gonna win every round those songs play in?
It's. I'm saying it's close. If you this is what I'm saying. The point of verses is when you drop the song, everybody. Oh, I know that. Everybody.
Yes.
This is what I'm saying. When he drops those songs and he brings that energy, everybody's losing it. When he does the Flavor in Your Ear remix, when he does he could do Vibin' remix for Boys to Men. He killed that joint. Like I can go on and on. Dude, I just said that. MOP now, Busta Rhymes now, what you want now, that joint. Everybody go crazy.
Bruh, when he do woo-ha, y'all.
Oh no, everybody's gonna trip on that.
Victory.
I don't think Jay-Z got a woo-ha, bro. Jay-Z don't got a woo-ha. He don't got a woo-ha.
No, because their style is different. That's
the problem though. They have a different, like Jay-Z is more laid back. Like Jay-Z is more like diverse with the songs he's trying to put out.
So
Busta's trying to like break everybody's neck.
Yeah, Busta's gonna have again. It's gonna be very similar to Snoop and X. When Snoop and X went at each other because their styles are very similar to X being like Busta and Snoop is like Jay. But the difference is when Snoop and X went against each other, it wasn't live. It was in the studio while they were there together. So it became like how it was with Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like an appreciation thing. You know.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Bomani Jones made a good point. He was like, if they did a versus just like you just said with Snoop and DMX, like if they're just sitting there playing their songs like they used to do with versus, Hove wins. But if they in front of an audience, if they in front of an audience, there's gonna be a lot of people that might be like, yeah, man, Busta killed that joint because Busta can perform on an energetic level that
I know,
Jay doesn't really do.
I know, and I don't disagree with any of that. The only thing I'm saying is that
what is this list of people?
Nobody got woo-ha, but at the same time, Jay wins ultimately.
That's what we've been saying.
This is where I'm at. I'm not saying it's not gonna be good. I'm not saying it's not gonna be close. I'm just saying Jay's gonna win ultimately because his catalog is better. And if it comes down to the energy on stage, it's not like Jay's gonna get straight washed by energy, bro. It's not like he don't have songs to get hype on.
Can y'all give me Jay-Z's top 2 features, please?
He got Crazy in Love. That was a huge hit.
To me, they both with his wife.
Umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Man. Umbrella.
Yeah, Umbrella, Crazy in Love, In Words in Paris. Well, I can say that on here, right? Yeah, I can't get banned for that. I don't think. Can I?
I've said that word quite a few times.
Niggas in Paris, Otis. It depends on whether or not you want to call those features because they did that album together. Run This Town.
Go Crazy. With Jeezy.
Jeezy Go Crazy. Yeah,
he got one with Biggie.
Yeah,
I forgot the name of the joint with Biggie.
He does. He got one with Biggie.
Dang man, I just thought of one. Don't he? I'm trying to think. It's a song in my head now.
I
don't think his features catalog touches Busta's though, but that's cool though.
I can agree on that. I think
Yo,
I think
there's a
I think
peculiar and paddle.
I think Busta does better features than Jay.
Yeah,
Sierra Diamonds from Sierra Leone.
that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I
Never
was
Let
gonna
Me
say
Down. Kanye
he probably got
West.
5 to 10 really good ones.
Nah, Jay got features, bro. We just not naming all of because top off with Khaled.
Best
Top
of
off
Me.
with Khaled.
Best of Me by Maya. Frontin' with Pharrell.
Yeah.
Fiesta with R. Kelly. Suit and Tie. With
Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake. He got like 4 with Beyonce. 4 or 5. I Get Money.
Monster.
Yep.
Monster with Kanye.
Yep.
When Monster come on, it's over. I don't care what plays.
See, all right. See, this is
when
this
Monster
is the
plays, bro. I'm gonna lose my stuff.
This
I'm
is the
telling you
difference for me. When you say features, like I'm thinking that you're saying your feature is the best on the track, right? So, like, I don't know.
Ooh, Holy Grail. Oh yes,
Yeah,
not
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail. Yeah, you wildin'. He got some fire features, bro.
Okay,
but I do think Busta's features are better than Jay. I think Busta has a way of dominating his features.
Yeah,
I don't disagree
on
with
the
that.
level that I think, like Jay-Z doesn't do features, in my opinion, on the same amount that Busta does.
Nah, he don't.
Yeah.
Busta. I think when he
Jay-Z,
Jay-Z's features are more. Jay-Z's features are more. Hey, I'm the GOAT. Features. I'm the GOAT, and I'm on your song.
Yeah, I agree with that, Javon. 100%.
He's very like
he select on when he's gonna come on somebody. But like when it comes to features and somebody you don't want to come on your song for a feature, for me, I mean the feature killer to me. I don't want Luda on my song. I don't want Luda on my
Andre
joint.
3000. I don't want Andre
I don't want 3 Stacks on my joint.
I don't want Luda will kill it. Luda
has never done a feature and not destroyed it. Not once.
I don't want
one time ever.
Or a pre 2010 Eminem. I don't want on my song. And shoot, today's Eminem
biggest feature is Janet Jackson. No, bro.
Nah,
I don't know.
Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey song was
it's
huge,
between
man.
them two, bro. Because that song would stayed on.
Look
on
at
the
me
list.
now. It's probably
not Look at Me Now. Stop that.
Look at me now. People are still on TikTok right now trying to rap that song. Like,
listen, Janet Jackson song was a.
It stayed on top for forever.
Oh, wow. But the Mariah Carey one did too, though.
It did.
Which one?
That Baby, if you give it to me, I'll give it to you.
Listen, absolutely. For us, yes. But like, Look at Me Now is moving like still right now. Like he's making money off Look at Me Now at this very moment.
But you know, I think I think you could be okay with Jay-Z being it depends. Busta takes over songs.
Yeah.
Like Busta be like the main event.
I agree with that too, Monty.
Like what's the Flavor in Your Ear remix? That dude was like the headliner. That's a song where Biggie was on it, and and he went on last and just
so that's another thing I want to make sure that I make clear, because when me and Jacoby were talking about it, it kept seeming like I was trying to disrespect Busta. I'm not. All I'm saying, because he kept trying to make it seem like he said you only say that because you're a Jay-Z fan, and I'm like, I'm a fan of both. I'm just telling you what I see factually, looking at both catalogs and knowing what Versus is about. I'm not saying Busta's not gonna have it close and it's not gonna be insane and amazing. I just don't think Busta can win, is my point. I don't think it's gonna be a Dipset Lot situation where we know Dipset's got a catalog, we know Lot's got a catalog, but then Busta just gets up there and destroys Jay-Z, and Jay-Z sitting there looking stupid. I don't think Jay-Z's gonna stand up there and lip sync.
Yeah, I don't think Busta gonna be sitting there like, oh man, like Busta's losses, his rounds where he loses, I don't think they're gonna be as big of losses as like Dipset was getting. Like Dipset was getting kind of.
That's my point. I don't think either side's gonna take losses on that level, because both Jay-Z can't, because he has too many hits. So even if Busta whoops him on energy for that song, it's not gonna be no wash. Because whatever Jay comes back with,
I'm not saying it's gonna be a wash. I just said it's gonna be closer. Like my cousin said it the best. It'd be like Cavs, Golden State, 7 games. The winner wins by Golden State wins by 2 points.
Do they only have one song together?
Who? Hove?
Busta and Jay-Z?
Janet?
I think so.
Who
and I
and
don't
Jay-Z?
remember what song it is.
Busta and Jay-Z, I only see one song that they have together. It's the one with
What
DMX.
song is it?
Why We Die. Busta Rhymes featuring DMX and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
I agree with this.
Dude,
I agree with this.
Nadia, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just saying if they do the verses, it's all about recognizability. And I know if I'm not saying the word right.
But see,
once the beat
I think Jay
drops,
has the advantage on that.
I disagree, man. I disagree.
I think Jay has the advantage on that for sure.
I disagree. I think Busta gonna be like, woo ha,
Busta's got
gonna lose it. This
Busta got a
we can make like
I think Busta touches more. But Busta touches more parts of the world than Jay-Z does.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
I'm talking about like different demographics. Jay-Z is the GOAT rapper for rap fans.
Stop it. Stop it, Danny.
There are casual
always
people
go too far.
What I'm saying is that nerds like Busta Rhymes, white track coaches like Busta Rhymes.
Danny, you gotta stop it, man.
You be finding the way to go too far. You'll be right by the ledge and be like, you know what? I'm gonna jump in this about.
Jay-Z's reanimation with Linkin Park was the first time I listened to Jay-Z. So I'm down. I feel you on that. I 100% feel you on that. I didn't start as a rap fan. I went to white schools and I grew up playing Tony Hawk and listening to Eminem and Linkin Park. So I feel you, okay? But I knew Busta Rhymes. Like, this dude got a song with the Monstars. Like, who? I don't know.
The Rock and Stone Cold is actually not a bad thing there.
Yeah. Well, who you calling the Rock and who you calling Stone Cold though?
I think Stone Cold would have to be Busta.
No.
Well, if Stone Cold's Busta, then Stone Cold is
the Rock will be closer to Jay-Z to me.
The Rock is the showman, though. The Rock is the showman. Busta is the showman.
Yeah, but when it comes to like putting things together, being smooth about something or whatever, Stone Cold has no.
I don't know if you could call Stone Cold the GOAT anymore, man. The Rock is like an icon on a level. The Rock is my GOAT. Ain't even there anymore.
The Rock is my GOAT.
I mean, I'm a Stone Cold fan, and The Rock done lapped him like.
I disagree. I in that analogy, to me, The Rock is definitely Jay-Z. Stone Cold is Busta because Stone Cold is about getting you hyped, getting you hyped. The wordplay and being smooth.
Yeah, but see, it don't work though.
The Rock,
it don't work like that though. Because if the analogy was based on the personalities, then Busta would be The Rock.
Yeah.
Legit. Why? Busta's always hype. The hype person in that analogy is Stone Cold.
Is always hype.
The Rock is always hype, dude.
Not like Stone Cold. Stone Cold, what?
No,
you know what I'm saying?
No.
He plays people off and drinks beers in the beginning of the joint. Who's more likely to stand on top rope, crack beers open and drink it? Who between those two artists? Exactly. The Rock don't do that.
Who's more flamboyant? Who would you?
The Rock stands on the turnbuckle and does this.
Time out. Which of the two would you consider to be more flamboyant? The Rock or Stone Cold?
Yeah, but The Rock is Stone Cold.
Who's more flamboyant?
They're flamboyant in a different way.
Just answer the question. Who is more flamboyant?
Stone Cold.
The Rock or Stone Cold?
Stone Cold is the one that stands on the freaking rope drinking 2 beers at one time. He literally has random people throw him beers out of the crowd and he drinks it live.
That's not flamboyancy, man.
He was Stone Cold Stunner. Anybody? He's Stone Cold Stunner like Vince McMahon.
I asked you who was more flamboyant, dude.
Family.
Do you know what flamboyant means? That's not true. The Rock is definitely flamboyant, bro.
The Rock literally has 2 rap songs. Like
to me, because
the Rock was wearing like silk shirts with his chest out.
The Rock can be smooth, because The Rock can be charismatic, because The Rock has tones and levels to when he does things. That's Jay-Z. Busta is a hype guy that's gonna bring everything to you right now. Ain't gonna be no talking. Ain't gonna be none of that. Like, who is the person that runs down the freaking alleyway, dips up under the rope, and then immediately jumps on you and goes? That's Stone Cold. He does that all the time.
Both of them do that. Like,
have you seen Stone Cold run? Have you ever seen him run?
Yes.
He got bad knees, dude.
Stone Cold ran all the time, but yeah, he had bad knees at the end there.
Stone Cold had bad knees for a good portion of his career, man. He wasn't running. The Rock was sprinting.
Busta's not The Rock, man. I'm done with this.
I'm worried about your dude. I'm worried about your WWE knowledge, man.
Do not do that.
I'm worried about it.
Yo, you full of crap.
It's 850, bro. What?
I tried to tell this man not to do this topic.
We didn't even get to the heroes thing.
I tried. Did I not try, Danny? Did I not try?
Listen, I'm not.
I can't believe y'all saying. I can't believe you're saying that. Come on, man.
Yes, Hove is Bret Hart.
We got to poll that
analogy. That's perfect. The Rock is Busta, and Hove is Bret Hart. Perfect.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes, that's perfect. That is perfect.
Is it perfect?
That is perfect.
Sweet chin.
Bret Hart was laid back, and Bret Hart just would tell you, "I'm the best there is, the best there was, best there ever be." He ain't like, he's just cool, chill, laid back. That's Hove. The Rock is all talking and come on now. And The Rock is better than Bret Hart.
Are you trying to say Busta Rhymes is better than Jay-Z?
I know. I'm just telling you.
You just made work. You made a face like you were like you having an aha moment.
Wrestling, but whatever. Let's do the top 5 before Danny has to go to bed.
Yeah, you got me about 7 more minutes.
Danny, are you working
tomorrow?
Got
some business to take care of upstairs.
Are you working tomorrow?
Y'all ain't about to make me miss it. So
man, do your 5, man.
Go ahead, do your 5 since you got
first last time, man. Go ahead.
You the one on limited time.
Nah, because every time I go first, I lose in the polls, and I don't like that.
That's not our fault.
You lose in the polls all the time. You ain't won but once.
Nah, when I go last, I win. When I go last, I win.
It don't matter. Listen, you can't go last. It might be past your time limit. Go. We trying to help you out.
I'll go first. Don't worry about it. This is ridiculous. All right, so my 5, and let me make sure I type them down. All right, so number 5, I got the Insecure finale. Hold on.
Wait a minute. Explain the top 5 first before we do this list. Explain the top 5.
We said top 5. Top 5. At first, me and Javon were like top 5 things we love from 2021. Because at first, I think Javon, didn't you say first top 5 things in entertainment first?
I don't know. I was agreeing with you. Whatever top 5 things we loved about 2021. That's my list. That's my list.
Yeah. So I did mine. Me and Javon had the same understanding, which is why we asked you, were you good with that? But me and Javon were on the same page about like the top 5 things that we loved about 2021.
You gotta stop saying yes if you'll understand.
I swear to beans, man. And look, I tried to change it for him too. Remember when he gave the list earlier, and I was like, "Yo, I said I can read my list."
All right, go ahead, Morgan. Go ahead, man.
Hold on. I'm just typing it in. Jordan, I almost gave that up.
Danny, man, you gotta let the missus know you need at least 15 extra minutes.
I just told him. So I told y'all need 20 minutes.
There you go.
Don't get that man hurt, bro. All right, so number 5.
You gotta make up. We'll make up for it later, man.
I promise. Make up for it later. Down.
All right, so number 5, I got the Insecure finale.
Okay.
Number 4, WandaVision. Number 3, Ghostbusters Afterlife for me, and we'll get into that later.
I haven't seen it.
Number 2, Midnight Mass. Y'all already knew. Number 1, George Floyd. The George Floyd protest, January 6th. I can't even call it like Generation Z, but just being able to see the fervor. So I had George Floyd and Derek Chauvin and Kim Potter both getting arrested. The Ahmaud Arbery trial turning out the way it did. Those three mean a
That's
lot
like
to
10
me.
separate things, bro.
I'm confused, man. What's your 5?
So I didn't know how to social justice. The seeming, I don't know how to word that. The seeming rounding of a corner for social justice. I guess I gotta think how to word that. I don't know.
Bro, you had a whole 20. You had a whole 48 hours. You could.
I didn't know how
All
to
right,
say
I'll
it.
go
I
next.
didn't know how to say it.
I'll go next. Cool. All right. So my top 5 best moments, and most all of mine are in entertainment. So
Thank you, BJ. Thank you.
he said
The movement. The
the
movement. I'll
movement
take
had a
that.
good year.
I'll take that. I'll take that. That's what I'm gonna put on the poll. The movement. Yeah, see
hilarious.
how they get it. And y'all don't, man. Y'all go to hell. They get it.
Yeah, they got it. You
Why
like,
you didn't get it?
George
I
Floyd.
explained it, and they got it.
He said every good thing that happened to black people.
You said
in
like 5
2021
different
is
events.
every
But
good
it's
thing
all
that happened to
they're
black
You
examples
people.
said
of
like
the
5
same
different
thing.
things, man.
They're examples of the same thing.
He's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah, they're examples of the same thing.
All right.
Go ahead, man.
Whew. Here's my top 5. So my top 5 favorite best thing in all my stuff is in entertainment. So number 5 was Yebba's Tiny Desk concert. That joint was heat. Yebba.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yebba's Tiny Desk concert. Number 4 was the Arcane TV series. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Arcane was an amazing show. Number 3 was Squid Games. Squid Games was huge. And me and my family, we even did a reenactment of it. We had a great time doing the little cookie challenge. I don't know if y'all saw that on Facebook. Number 2, Spider-Man No Way Home, the event, the $1 billion, bringing people back to the movie theaters. And then my number 1 is Will Smith and his book. I read that book this year, and it was great, especially for somebody like me who's got dreams and goals. And yeah, Will Smith and the whole lead up, like his whole press thing. He did a documentary, the best shape of my life thing. He talked with his mom and all this stuff. It was just dope. So that's mine.
I hate on that.
It's not personal, there. We not doing.
Yeah, we let the personal stuff off.
Hey, but BJ, I did think about it. I was gonna put TikTok on my list, but I decided not.
You should have put it up there.
All right, let me do mine.
All right. Go ahead, Javon.
Oh, number 5. Y'all both gonna hate this, but whatever, man. Tom Brady winning number 7.
That
was a great move. That was a great moment for me, man. That's my favorite player. It's my favorite football player. Let me alone.
You and Kyron, bro.
That's my favorite football player.
Tom Brady won another championship. Okay, cool.
I was happy. Listen, if I said LeBron James, y'all wouldn't say nothing to me.
No,
y'all.
You full of. Anyway, number four. I went back and forth on this. Really difficult, but I'm gonna have to go with WandaVision.
Go.
Number 3,
You like daddy sometimes.
Spider-Man No Way Home. Number 2, because this song was fire, and I feel like it literally reinvigorated R&B. Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open, dropped. It's an amazing song. I love that song.
Oh, solid.
And then number 1, Squid Games. Best thing I watched all year.
Squid Games was a movement, man. It was
that was movement, man. I'm
crazy.
trying to get my wife to watch it.
Yeah,
what? She didn't watch it?
Nah.
She don't watch subtitles?
No, that ain't the problem. That ain't it. She's not a big TV person.
Tom Brady.
I like the fact that
I'll put your list back up in a second. I just thought that was funny.
Hey man, y'all need to stop hating on Tom Brady, man.
I don't even
Tom Brady is the GOAT. Tom Brady is the GOAT. I will give you that. He is
no question about that.
But
GOAT.
I ain't even watched the Super Bowl, so I can't even.
Let me put it back up. Let me put
You
Javon's
what?
list back.
What'd you say?
I didn't even watch the Super Bowl, so I can't. I don't care.
Why you watch the Super Bowl, man?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it that year. I didn't watch it last year.
I'm about to say he
Why?
said it proud. I'm about to say he said it proud too. I'm like, bro, you act like you.
Dude, I watch the Super Bowl even if my team ain't in it.
Nah, I did. I mean, I just didn't watch this year, so maybe that's why it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But
I'm too pissed at my team. I don't know. You know,
yeah,
I watch the playoffs, I guess,
Yeah,
but
that
I'm
might be
very.
a while before your team get there. Get
them
more.
Panthers, they
You like getting told to go to
back
hell,
their
obviously.
Might be a
You,
while.
you like getting told to go to hell, obviously.
I mean, so
but
I went back and forth between WandaVision and Midnight Mass. Like I wanted to put
dare you.
Midnight Mass on my list, but I couldn't do it over WandaVision. WandaVision was like a movement. That was like
I agree.
everybody was watching it like every week, theorizing everything. So
Yeah,
I
honorable mention for me was Hotels. Jasmine Sullivan's album.
hey man, listen, his wife shut that down, man.
Oh God. I waffle between WandaVision and Spider-Man No Way Home. I had to go with WandaVision though because WandaVision is the only Disney Plus show that I look forward to every week. Every week it went off, I was ready for the next week immediately. Like, yo, if y'all don't drop this, and I would rush to be like, all right, when this episode come out, I'm about to watch it right now. Not now, but right.
I woke up early. I woke up early on Wednesdays to watch that.
But I watched it immediately.
It was the anticipation. I have not had that much anticipation for a show this year. Like that's why Squid Game didn't make it on there either, because Squid Game didn't.
You could binge Squid Game.
I love Squid Game, and I loved it just like everybody else. But I was not as excited to go watch it as I was WandaVision. WandaVision, I was excited every time I watched.
I'm gonna tell you how good. Go ahead. My wife hates subbed and dubbed content. Right? We watched Naruto together, but if we got to the point where it was subbed, she wouldn't watch it no more. Right? So in dub shows, she hates people moving their mouths and not speaking the words. She hates it. So for her to watch Squid Games 3 times through, bruh, I said, yo, this show must be immaculate. She watched it at home with me twice, and she watched it again with her clients at work. She would put it on at work and watch it again and tell her clients about it. I was like, yo, this show is doing the thing. Like,
it is. I mean, it broke Netflix's, it whooped Bird Box, which, I mean, Bird Box was
awful,
stupid when it first came out. So
Bird Box is terrible, man. I don't know why people were trying to make that show up, man. That joke.
I don't know, but it was a phenomenon.
It was a hit at the time. Though.
It was a hit, but it was
a phenomenon. Like it really was. And Squid Game was more of a phenomenon, which is saying something. I put Ghostbusters in front of WandaVision only because
please don't. I still plan on watching it. I still plan on watching it.
Oh no, I'm not gonna spoil anything. I put it in front of WandaVision because
I still haven't seen it.
I love Ghostbusters growing up. I really loved it, like, a lot. And when I was watching Ghostbusters Afterlife, the whole movie, I felt like a kid again. Like, I've not watched a movie ever that I could think of that I sat in the movie theater and legit felt like a kid again. Like, I legit was like in my head back to being a little kid, Little Morgan freaking hype about Ghostbusters, wondering what's about to happen, how they gonna do this. Like, I legit.
That's one request. That's my one request for the year. Is don't Ghostbusters.
Look. After he done spoiled everything for everybody all year.
He done spoiled No Way Out. He spoiled
Falcon and Winter Soldier for everybody. He spoiled Falcon and Winter Soldier for everybody, bruh. Like, Danny will watch the episode at 5 a.m, bruh. And then at 6, supposed to be like, yo, that was crazy, blah, blah, blah. It was 6 a.m. I am not exaggerating. I'm dead serious.
Y'all can talk about it.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember you did that.
I love y'all. I'll see y'all next week.
Peace out, bro. Yeah, he spoiled everything for everybody this year. Now you like, bro, don't spoil Ghostbusters though. Get the F out of here, man. He really did.
I can't stand none of y'all on the show or y'all in the comments. I just want
That's
Happy New Year.
racist.
I love y'all.
That's racist.
So let me see. Do you want to get into the hero anti-hero thing? Because I know you wanted to.
I do. Let me make sure I put. Well, I'm gonna put it up in the poll later, so it don't make.
Hold on, I got 4 more minutes.
Man, you got 20 minutes, man. You got 20 minutes.
I got 4 minutes. I got
20 minutes.
You get on my nerves.
You got 20 minutes.
So the hero anti-hero conversation. I started it on my page last night, and I'm trying to figure out the best place to start it. So one of the things that bothers me in this conversation is because I might start it there. One of the statements that I disagree with most when I have this conversation is when people say if the hero kills, he becomes just as bad or just like the criminals he's trying to stop. That does not make any sense to me whatsoever.
Hawkeye.
Say it again.
Like Hawkeye. Hawkeye should be in jail just like that girl's mama.
Oh, you mean because yeah.
That statement does not make any sense to me because
they're murdering people.
Let me say why. Right, it's because and I asked Javon an analogy last night. He didn't answer, so I'll bring it up again in a minute. But the reason that statement doesn't make sense to me is because
you asked me something.
If I'm trying to think of the best way to formulate this. Somebody else go real quick so I can think of the best way to put this.
All right, let me. Oh, go ahead, Danny. Go ahead.
The difference for me is Hawkeye. Okay, like we talk about Batman, Daredevil, and Hawkeye, right? So Daredevil is out here murdering people not Daredevil. The Punisher is out here murdering people in search of his mission, right? If I come across you and you did something, I'm murdering you. All right. Hawkeye, I think, is just that next level below that because he went and because he lost his family, decided I'm going to start murdering people who I think are criminals. Okay.
Somebody when he was Ronin.
Yeah, when he was Ronin.
Okay.
Then he got his family back and was like, oh man, I feel bad about murdering them people. Nah, you need to be in jail. You need to be locked up, bro. I understand you feel bad and you sacrifice a lot, but you out here murdering all these Hispanics and black people. You need to be in jail, brother. And then you got Wanda, who couldn't control what she had going on. Wanda did entrap some people. I don't think she murdered anybody.
She didn't kill anybody.
I don't think she killed anybody.
She held them hostage.
She did hold them people hostage. She did hold them people hostage for some long time without their permission. So she should probably be locked up too. But I think there's a difference between that and what Javon is talking about with like Batman, where if Batman steps across that line, he's probably going to be a murderer now for the rest of his. Like he probably going to be crazy and start murdering people for real.
Yes, Nadia. Yes, Nadia.
So all right. So here's my thing. This is what I say, and I'm only using Batman because we've been using Batman.
Okay.
But I also think it's a character by character basis. To me, for Batman, for way my brain allows Batman to work.
Okay.
Is Batman, and once again, I'm not a fan of brutal Batman. Like I'm not a fan of. We just lost him.
He might have just backed out.
I'm not a fan of Batman that's out there breaking up dudes' arms and shattering clavicles and stuff like that. I don't like that. For me, Batman works when he's trying to be better than the police. Like the police can lean on, if worse comes to worse, they can shoot and kill somebody. Like Batman being a civilian means that he needs to work within the system as much as possible with the understanding that he is not an actual person of authority. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a cop. Like he's not a cop. He's not in the military. He is a private citizen out here doing basically illegal acts. But the only way in my mind it works is if he doesn't cross certain lines. which is why I don't like brutal Batman, why he's breaking arms. Like if he's just like stopping people from robbing other people, you and I can do that. Like if we're being real, like if you saw somebody getting robbed and you go over there and you whoop they behind and stop them from robbing somebody, they're not going to put you in jail. They're not going to put you in jail. Like they'll thank you. But but if you go over there and you just murk Holmes and kill him, you might be in some trouble because you're not a cop and you can't just roll up and shoot people.
So
do you understand what I'm saying? Yes,
I do.
Needs more Sherlock Holmes in solving crimes and stopping, what?
Criminals.
Oh, no. Rich people that have mansions pay property tax that fund the police, and no, you and I can't do that because look at the camera, bro.
He's saying Batman works because he's a rich white guy. And
I mean, obviously, but I'm just talking on the base level. If he needs to be more Sherlock Holmes than the Punisher.
So I don't disagree with that because I'm not a proponent of the Punisher because the Punisher has a propensity to be wrong because he's doing these things in rage. He's not a detective. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not even Dexter. You know what I'm saying? Dexter at least has the code where it's like, I'm going to make sure that this person's a serial killer before I kill them and take them off the earth to feed my urge.
Right. But Batman is trying to work within the system. Like that. But he's trying not to be judge, jury, and executioner. He's like, look, I'm going to stop the Joker. I'm going to get a Joker to you. Whatever y'all do with the Joker, that's on you.
All right.
If Joker busts out again, I'm going to go get him again. But the lives that the Joker take aren't on Batman's head. They're on the system's head.
And that is where the conversation is for me. That's where the conversation is for me. At what point does somebody become complicit when the analogy I gave you last night? So let me make sure I lay the groundwork first to make sure we're on the same page. Batman is a vigilante. He's a citizen that's a vigilante, right? So we're on the same page so far. The police are cool with it though, as long as he doesn't cross certain lines, like you said. I don't know that those lines have been expressed, which is, I think it's like one of those wink and nods. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen anywhere that Gordon says, "Okay, go stop him, but don't do." You know what I'm saying? I think
all the time.
Understood. Okay, all right, cool. So you read the comments, you know better than I do on that. Great. All right. So he's working within the system. He is a vigilante, but the people of Gotham know that he's doing this, so they're okay with it to a degree, you would think. The police are okay with it to a degree, you would think, because that invisible line is there that is, don't cross these lines and we're okay with you doing these things. He's doing this because of his love for Gotham City and because he hates people and the people that are in Gotham City, and he hates people being taken advantage of, right? He wants to protect his loved ones and he wants to stop people from being taken advantage of. So we're all on the same page so far, right?
Yep.
All right. So in the analogy that I gave, right? So he's doing it for the people he loves. And I don't let me forget this point right here that Brevin just brought up, because I want to circle back to that. It's all good. Let it be a vigilante, because earlier you said the way it works in your head. The way it works in your head is for him to be better than the whatever. Don't forget that part.
When I say better, I mean he has to work and be like how do I put this? Like cops can be crooked. There can be crooked cops that are out there doing their job. Batman can't be crooked because then he's just another criminal. You understand what I'm saying? The moment he does criminal like things, then he becomes just as bad as any other cop.
But when would it become a criminal like? Let me come back to that. So we're all on the same page about what I described before, right? Because I want to give the analogy. So in the situation, take Batman out of it and put yourself in it. You're here to protect other people, right? And protect your loved ones. Um, you get your loved ones and other people that you care about into a boat. The boat has a hole in it. You see the boat. You see the boat has a hole in it. You point to the boat having a hole in it, but it's not your boat. You know what I'm saying? It's not your boat. You did not buy the boat yourself, so it's not your boat yourself to repair. You just pointed out to them that there's a hole in your boat. You need to plug that joint. If my family and my loved ones are going to stay safe, they need to plug this hole. But you're relying on them to plug the hole, right? If you put your family and your loved ones in that boat and it sinks because they didn't plug the hole, whose fault is that? Is it the people that didn't plug the hole, or you because you put your family and your loved ones in that boat knowing there was a hole in it?
I don't think this analogy works, but
Why?
Because even within the comic books, excuse me, and obviously this is all fiction and this is all fantasy, so we have to kind of allow for some. You have to allow for some leeway, right? You can't like be strict and you know what I mean. Like you can't be so rigid with what you think. You have to allow for the fantasy of it. You have to allow for the fantasy of it, because when you break down Batman, to his basic function, Batman is basically a guy that sits out there and patrols, a civilian that's patrolling and looking to prevent people from being harmed and stopping crimes before the cops can get there. Hold on, but Batman ain't no cop, so he's automatic. Yes, I understand. No, well, here's the thing: like, you can actually do like civilian arrests. Like, I don't know if you guys know that you can actually do that. Like,
in some states.
Instances,
it's not legal in all states.
But you also have to acknowledge the fantasy part of it. You guys are trying to be too literal within the real world. Like that's a it's
well, I'm speaking. You know what it is? Where my issue comes in.
Hold on. You know what it is? It's like I remember so I reading some Grant Morrison, a writer, talking about how, like, you know, with Batman, once you give Batman to an adult start asking questions that immediately starts breaking down the fantasy of it. Like, who fills the tires of the Batmobile? Like, who cares? It's a comic book character, guys. Like, you can't apply too much realism to this stuff, because then it starts to break down. If you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're trying to say, but we're so in this situation. I'm speaking from the perspective of where my issue is. My issue is, at some point, to me personally, you become complicit in the people that die because of your inactions. If you continue to step forward to take actions,
I got one for you. If a police officer, now police officers are not supposed to kill they're technically not supposed to be shooting and killing somebody without.
Unless their life is in danger.
Unless their life is in danger. Let's say a police officer stops a serial killer, right?
Okay.
Arrests him.
Yep.
That serial killer gets prosecuted, goes to jail.
Mm-hmm.
That serial killer gets out.
Mm-hmm.
If the cop gets in the position to arrest him again, is he supposed to shoot him and kill him?
No, but that's not what my so part of my point is.
That's part of my point.
No, but okay. So part of my point is, at what, to me personally, there is a point in time where you start to become complicit in the problem that you see that somebody else is not.
But if you don't want to murder, if you do not want to kill somebody, you're not complicit. But you're saying, yo, all right, the Joker's gotten out too much. Batman needs to just end this, snap his neck, call it a day, and then, you know, nobody else will die. And I'm saying Batman does not want to kill somebody. Like, literally, there's a line in this is why I gave you Kingdom Come when I was telling you comics to read. There's a line in Kingdom Come where it says, when you boil Batman down to you strip everything away. Batman is somebody that doesn't want anybody to die. Batman does not want to kill. Just like Superman. Superman does not want to kill. He doesn't want to kill anybody. In Superman's mind, there's always a way, and every life is valuable. Whether that person is a murderer or whatever. Daredevil, literally Daredevil, the entire show of Daredevil is Matt Murdock trying his damnedest not to kill people because he doesn't want to be a killer. And that is an essence of the character. The character does not want to kill people. Now, it's not his fault that the system can't hold the Joker. It's not his fault. He gonna keep getting them. He gonna keep dragging them back. It's not his responsibility to do it. Now, if the system decides they want to kill him, what is he going to do? Like, he went through the system. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to put responsibility on him.
I understand. No, I'm not putting. So let me say first, I'm not putting all the responsibility on him.
But you're saying he's complicit. And that's responsibility.
Complicit means that you also take some of the blame. So
why is he taking blame? If Batman is saying, I'm not going to kill anybody. Batman, like, my job is not to kill. My job is not to kill criminals. My job is to arrest them. Not arrest them.
I don't think he should
stop them from what they're doing so that they can be arrested, and then give it to the system. And it's your job. Hey guys, it's your job to put them in jail. Keep them in jail.
I don't think that I don't want, it's not that I want Batman to kill Joker. What I'm saying is, in Batman's position, he's not just Batman and doing all the things he's doing. That's a different conversation. He has more resources and more ways to use those resources than I think he does well. And that is a part of the problem too.
It's not part of the problem. It's not a part of the fantasy.
Yeah.
Who is Batman deforming? Number one, which Batman are we talking about? Like, are we talking about the Batman in the comic books? The Batman in the mainline comic books isn't deforming anybody. Now, if you want to talk to Zack Snyder and his Abomination, I can't argue with that because that's foolishness.
But that's
the Batman in the comic books isn't branding anyone. He's not deforming them. He might injure a villain
if they so does this become different if they deputize Batman, right? If the police deputize him, they've given him legal authority to take actions as they do. Because to me, that's another part of this conversation. Gotham has given Batman their trust, and so the police. There's I don't know. So you said there's that they say that Gordon, I'm assuming you're talking about, says all the time what Batman should not do.
Dude, there's literally a comic book. Okay, there's a comic book called The Killing Joke. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I have.
In The Killing Joke, Gordon makes a point after Joker shoots Barbara Gordon in the spine, paralyzes her. After Gordon is tormented and tortured by the Joker, Batman is furious. And on his way to go get the Joker, Commissioner Gordon specifically tells him, do it by the book, which is his way of saying, don't kill him.
Yeah, so if he does that, then he would be in the wrong. But what I'm saying is,
that's my point. Even after everything,
I'm not disagreeing with your point. All I'm telling you is where my issue is with these type of conversations. Like, I get,
like, you're talking about complicitness, and I'm saying Batman's not complicit because it's not his responsibility to be judge, jury, and executioner.
But it's not his responsibility to go be a vigilante either.
He's using the resources that he has acquired over his maybe my question that Nadia is a good. What's your issue?
My issue is, so the question that I have that bothers me most is if you know the Joker has killed countless people, and you know that you can put him back in prison. Because I can say what I would do. Let me put it like that. I can say what I would do. If I put Joker in prison, if the Joker's killed thousands of people, I bust my behind, hurt myself, and do all kinds of things to put Joker back in prison again, and I hand him back over to you guys again. At a certain point, I'm going to have a conversation with Gordon and everybody else in Gotham and say, yo, I don't want this guy to hurt you guys anymore at all, which is why I've been continuing to give myself over to do whatever it takes to put him behind bars. If you guys do not, but I don't want to take the law into my own hands, right? I'm trying to avoid doing that. If you guys like it, I love it, right? If he gets out again, there's one or two things going to happen. I'm going to stop him from hurting anybody else, which would be me taking the law into my own hands, right? Or I can leave this alone and leave it all to you guys. But it's going to be one of those two. But I'm not going to keep breaking myself over and over again, watching you guys die over and over again, then blame me for it. Or
who's blaming Batman though?
I would blame him. If I lived in Gotham, I'd definitely blame him.
But
for sure.
Why would you blame Batman? Like that's my.
I'm
thing.
blaming him and the police. Everybody else. Everybody's.
Why would you blame Batman though?
Number one, I didn't ask you.
If Batman literally stops the Joker, and hands him over to the police. Oh, if you see in the news,
I'm blaming all of them.
Hold on, time out. If you see in the news, Batman stops Joker, right? Then you see in the news, Joker is committed to Arkham, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see in the news, Joker escapes Arkham. Mm-hmm. Joker on a killing spree. Why are you blaming? Why would you blame Batman for anything? That's like blaming the cop who stops the killer, the serial killer. Like
somebody stop people from getting killed. My ultimate point is somebody should be. So like I said, if I'm in Batman's shoes, I'm just telling you what I know I would do. I know what I would do.
Right. This is where you and I differ on the type of hero we like. I don't know if we want to say like, but I'll say like. I'm not a big fan of heroes that kill. Like I'm not. Like to me, like I like heroes that. Sorry. I'm Alexa. Stop. I like heroes who it's not their job. Their job is not to play judge, jury, and executioner. That's why, like, I'm not the biggest fan of the Punisher. I don't really read a lot of Punisher comics. Like, I don't think I have any I don't have a lot of Punisher comic books. I'm not a huge fan of Wolverine. Like, I'm not really a fan of Lethal. Wolverine. Huh? I understand why you like Wolverine. You like heroes that are okay with going, all right, let me do the dirty work, and because this dude will get out again, and then I'm gonna be done with him. And I'm saying,
I don't think Wolverine. So my line, Danny said it earlier, and I circled it, but I can't remember exactly what he said. So for me, the line is,
I didn't say that they blame him. I'm saying, why would you blame him?
For me, so if the police don't kill Joker or keep him in prison, and as the bat, you just not gonna help anymore. At a point, no, I'm not.
Then where's the heroism in that? Heroism is doing.
I've been a hero. I'm leaving it alone. It's like
is doing things that you don't want to do, man.
It's like when a hero it's like when a hero gets to that crisis of place, and we all do this all the time, and it's cute and all that, but whatever. If you get to the place where you see everything that you're doing, you've helped a lot of people, but the people don't want to help themselves. How long do you continue to take away from your own life and probably destroy parts of your own life, if you have one at all, to continue to overextend yourself for everybody else who doesn't want to help themselves? How long do you do that? At what point are you stopping? So you can be a hero to the rest of the city, but are you a hero to your family? Are you a hero to your friends? Are you a hero to the other people that are around you at that point? Because other people are going to start losing stuff because you continue to give yourself for everybody else and not those who are closest to you.
Now you're a religious man, and which is
Correct.
why this conversation is funny, because literally Jesus does exactly that. And I don't mean to make it too biblical, but Jesus literally puts himself above everybody who went out of their way to crucify him, and to the end. And then he still went and then sacrificed his life for them.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the hero. That's
I'm
the,
not, but
that's the hero,
okay.
that's the hero paradigm right there. That's what heroes do. Heroes step up even when people say no, and people, who claim that they don't want their help, though.
So I can circle back to what you said earlier about, and I don't want to misquote you, but the thought in my head is that, God, man, that's why I was trying to tell you, don't let me forget. Man, I cannot remember right now. God bless.
About him being better than the cops?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So for me, I don't need a hero to be better than the cops. I'm not looking for you to be a moral compass. That's what I got Jesus for. I want you to stop them from hurting people.
Yeah, but that's
what you're giving yourself to do. Do that. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, we've already given our trust over to you. You haven't killed people all this time. So I'm going to speak logically for me personally. If Batman and Superman haven't killed this villain all this time, and at some point they decide to kill him, I'm not going to all of a sudden be like, Batman and Superman aren't virtuous anymore. I'm going to logically think, dang, that mother must have did something really crazy for that mother to kill him. He done caught this same MF 1,000 times and ain't killed him. If he killed him this time, he must have really done something effed up. Well, I'm not gonna have no remorse for that. And the reason is because the only reason I don't believe in capital punishment now is because our system is corrupt, and there would absolutely be innocent black people for sure, and other minorities, you know what I'm saying, for sure, and white people too, that would be killed because our system isn't fair. It has never been fair, and it still isn't fair. They're taking steps forward, which is why I got my number one being what it is. But it's still not fair, so I can't be for capital punishment because I don't trust this system, right?
Okay,
but if the system was fair, would I be for capital punishment? Yes, 100%.
Can I ask you a question though? Let me just ask you one question. Do you have an internal moral compass?
Yes.
There are certain boundaries and lines that you personally will not cross, correct?
Yes, in most cases, yes.
Right. That's exactly what the characters have. They have their moral compass. For Superman, it's I'm not going to cross this line. Number one, Superman doesn't cross that line because he doesn't want people to fear him, because he's already super uber powerful. And if he starts taking the law and basically taking people's lives into his own hands, then he goes from being a what's the word, a friend and a help to something to fear, and then it becomes a whole different thing. You don't look at Superman the way if Superman started murking people, you don't look at him the same way. Yes, exactly. Batman drew a line in the sand early and said, I will not kill. I am not going to murder. I'm not going to kill any criminals. I am here for justice, not revenge, not vengeance. I'm here for justice. And in his eyes, justice is, I caught you. The police have you. You face justice, which is the legal system. Now, Bruce Wayne, even in the comics, has poured money into Arkham, has poured money into the police department, has poured money into everything to help them do a better job. Obviously, guys, once again, you start looking at things too closely, then you start to break down the fantasy and the fiction of it. The only reason Joker keeps escaping is because we need more Joker stories.
Agreed.
In real life, Joker would probably be in the deepest, darkest dungeon of a penitentiary. It would never see the light of day. He would probably never, ever, ever see the light of day.
So that is I agree with you on that, because we know the fantastical part of it is that the only reason he keeps getting out is because we need new stories.
Right.
And that is the fantastical part, and I get that completely. I'm only talking about I'm talking about the morality and the compass for me personally, because to me,
Right. Your moral compass is that you're okay with the hero eventually going, screw this.
it depends. So
Snap
for
the neck and
intent
call it a day.
is everything for me. Intent is everything for me. But I do have, just like everybody else. But that doesn't absolve the morality of
What do you
what
mean by that? You gotta expand on that.
Yeah. For me personally, like I have, everybody has their lines in the sand, right?
Right.
So
And
like for
and
me, I have places that I extend a lot of grace, a lot more grace than most people will, and I have a few that there's none. You know what I'm saying? One, if you break into my house, no grace. Ain't no grace, ain't no mercy. If you in my house,
once
there's
again,
nothing to talk about,
you are
right?
looking at things as somebody who's not a civilian, who's not trying to take the law in their own hands. Like you in your house with a gun protecting your family is not taking the law in your own hands. That's protecting your family. Like they are coming onto your property. You aren't going out into the city with a gun and looking for criminals. Like there's two different things.
I was only explaining where I know. So I have lines in the sand about things. Like you asked me about my moral compass. I'm just
Right.
trying to explain. So like you brought up Jesus earlier, right? Um, Jesus gave himself for people, yes. But we also know that he, uh, when he returns, I mean, look, everybody can think it's just sweet all they want, but I've read the whole Bible a lot of
Yeah, but
times. When he comes back,
I'm using like pretty much every comic book character kind of uses that Jesus paradigm. Every comic book character that doesn't believe in killing uses that Jesus paradigm of, everybody deserves a second chance and everybody deserves another chance, and that's why you don't kill them, because you don't know if that next time will be the time where they actually take the second chance.
agreed. So, but that's to me, that's the interesting part of the conversation is how many chances do you get? How
But
many
once
chances
again,
do they
it's
get?
not up to him to determine how
I
many
know,
times
but
that's what I'm
I don't.
saying.
So we can. So the conversation we use Batman just because Batman was what we had been
I
talking
mean, we
about.
could use Superman, we could use who else
I'm
we
just
gonna
talking about
use?
in general. So that's why I said this conversation when it comes, because again, now I'll say it again. If Batman or Superman have saved our behinds 1,000 times without killing somebody, if they saved our behinds 1,000 times without killing somebody, and this time they decided to kill the person, I'm not going to second guess Batman or Superman if I didn't second guess them 1,000 other times.
It's not
I'm
about
not.
you though. It's about the individual character. The
This
individual
conversation
Batman
is
has said
about,
on more than one occasion, if he does it once, it becomes too easy. And then the
but
next time it's like, well, I might as well just do it now because that's how human
okay,
beings are.
great,
That's how
okay.
people are.
But this entire conversation, right? Like I got it named that way as far as hero versus anti-hero convo. That's what I named the
Right,
conversation I was trying to have, because
right.
that's part of the conversation. This isn't just about Batman, Superman. This is about it's a morality conversation, which is why I said that is what I'm interested in talking about. Is where is the line and how do people determine that line? That's still something that for lumberjacks I still work through. I still
Okay,
am working through that. Right.
okay.
That's the interesting part of the story for me is Jack's being brought up in the way that he's brought up. If business need to be handled, it can get handled now. I'm gonna give you
Right.
every opportunity not to catch this smoke, but if you want smoke, I'll give it to you. That's pretty much Jackson's attitude about things. I don't want to kill you, but if you come over here, I'm not going to let you kill me. And if you die in the process, that's not my problem. I gave you your option before you came over here.
Right.
You chose
Okay.
smoke. Now you get smoke. Sorry.
That
You know what I'm saying?
and
That's his attitude right
that's the moral compass of your particular hero. Like my heat doesn't kill people.
there.
Like
I get that. But
for
I
him,
but
it's something that he's made a decision that he needs to be better than that. And to be a better hero is nobody needs to die. I have great power. I should be able to help. I should be able to stop people without killing them.
Nadia, I don't understand what you mean. But the point of the conversation for me is, and the interesting part of the conversation for me is where the line is.
I think the line is very close, very simple. There are anti-heroes generally have a lesser value of life. They have a lesser value of life. Because
why does that mean that you have to have a lesser value of life?
Because the Punisher is an anti-hero. The Punisher mows down, and like dudes could just have a dime bag in the hood, and they getting shot in the head off that dime bag. Like they could just be, guys that are just, need a little bit of money on the side. That's why they got to work for this gangster. They got to die tonight just because they happen to be there. Like that's the Punisher. Wolverine cuts through people left and right, regardless of the level of villainy that they actually have. Like it is what it is. Like that's who they are. But and you just told me that if the bad guy in your story, let's say the bad guy is somebody who has to do it. I'll give you another example. If you got one of the bad guys has to go do something because the bigger bad guy has their family hostage and he got to work for him and if that dude gets killed, you killed somebody who was forced to do something that they didn't want to do, which is why you don't just kill everybody, because you don't know why that person's doing the thing that they do. Now, the Joker obviously is the extreme, because he's a mass murderer, and frankly, everybody would be quite happy if Joker's killed. But like for Batman, he just refuses to take that line. Hold on, just because Joker has to stay alive and out of jail because they need to make more shows and comics doesn't mean it is not his responsibility, and he is not complicit. His job, Batman chooses to stop the Joker. If the court,
it's not really his job, I think, at this point.
Hold on,
I think that's his point. I think he said early on, his point is that it is not his job. He's taking it upon himself to do that. Nobody right. elected him to do it.
That's fine.
Nobody told him to do it.
But he's decided, I'm going to help because the police can't. The police clearly can't handle the Joker.
They should deputize him then.
You can't deputize somebody like you don't know who their real face is. How you gonna deputize Batman? And he won't take his mask off.
What you mean? You can still deputize. You trust this dude to go around in a Halloween costume and help you save lives. Why can't you deputize him to do that? You pretty much have done that as it is. You pretty much already deputized him and said, hey, go out there and do it, but make sure you don't do these things. According to you,
deputize him if he don't want to kill. Y'all,
I'm not trying to make him kill.
Guys,
no, you're trying to take the responsibility thing away. That's what he's talking about.
Because it's not his responsibility to hold Joker in jail.
This isn't about the killing. This is about his. So he can't have the he can't accept the responsibility and have the responsibility, and at the same time be hands off once the ramifications come. I think that's what.
Why?
If he's going to do what he's doing, to me personally, right? To me personally, this is what I'm saying.
You guys are trying to find ways to have Batman kill Joker. And I'm trying
to. This isn't about him killing Joker at all.
If you're talking about being complicit in what he does after and the responsibility of it, and making the point, and making the point that he can end it in a more final way, then you're trying to say he should just kill the Joker.
No.
Then what?
What I'm talking about, what Brevin was just talking about here.
Right, and I'm saying he's not complicit in holding the Joker in jail. He's not complicit in the response in what happens after the Joker gets out, because the Joker got out. That's not his responsibility to hold the Joker.
It's not his responsibility to arrest the Joker either.
He's not arresting. He's stopping whatever the Joker's doing because guys.
So why not deputize him? What's the reason for not doing that?
Oh my God. You guys really are looking too friggin' close at. You cannot apply too much realism to this, guys. You can't.
All right, so there's no point in talking about it then.
I'm just making the point that you can't apply that much realism to it.
But you understand that's the point that he's making. The point
Dude,
that he's making is that you can't. He's taking it upon himself to help the police and help the city, and the city and the police accept this help, right? So if they're accepting the help, but he does not have their legal authority to do these things technically. He's still doing it as a citizen, as you said, and turning it over to the people. It's not his responsibility, but he's taking it upon himself, right?
Dude, number one, you got to get over this rich and privileged thing because Daredevil ain't rich and privileged, and he out there doing it too. Please stop. Y'all got to stop. I get it. It's a funny thing. Batman's white and he's rich and privileged. Dude, I get it. I totally get it. I really did it. Luke Cage ain't rich and privileged. He out there doing it too. All right. All these dudes, all these guys are doing it too. All right.
I agree with that,
all of them. So let's stop with the whole rich and privileged woke thing. With all due respect, because
I didn't say nothing about that.
No. I'm reading what he said. He said Batman. Your point you're missing is Batman can do that is because he's rich and privileged. Spider-Man is Poe. He's still out there doing it. Daredevil ain't rich. He out there doing it. Static ain't rich. He out there doing it. Luke Cage ain't rich. He out there doing it. Like, come on, man. I did read the whole thing. I'm reading the entire thing. I'm saying he's not complicit in anything. What else? If he's giving money to the police in comics, he gives money to the police to have more technology.
I agree with Brevin saying that though.
What?
He just made the point that I've been trying to make.
What do you mean complicit in how he works with the police? What more?
Because he's self-appointed. He just said it at the end.
Just like every other superhero. Every single superhero.
But that is a part of his point. That's a part of the point that, again, this is not about killing. This is not about killing.
So
it's only about Captain America Civil War. This is the conversation they had, right? This is exactly the conversation they had between Tony and Cap. And Tony was saying, because that mother came to him about what happened in Sokovia, right? And because she lost a loved one, right? That hit home for Tony, and Tony was like, maybe we should just be hands off. Maybe we should just hand it back to them and let them do their own thing.
That's not what Tony's argument was.
Okay.
Tony's argument was maybe they need to tell us what we need to do, which is why he went along with the Sokovia. That's not hands off. That's saying, I'm going to take the responsibility of choosing.
I misworded it. My bad.
Okay. But I'm just saying that's him saying we should take the responsibility of who we go after, take it off our shoulders and put it on the United Nations. That's what he said. That's what Civil War was about. That's what the Sokovia Accord is about. That's why when Black Widow said, well, what if we disagree with what you guys say? And he said, then you retire. That's what Civil War was about.
Cap. So yeah, Cap and Black Widow and them were on the other side of it. But I saw when that conversation was taking place, I see both sides.
Okay.
So that's why I said I'm glad I brought this up. That is where I said that is where I said the conversation for me personally is, and what I'm interested in discussing. That is what my confliction is what is the right way in that way, because at that point, because remember I said early on in the conversation, my issue and my interest is, where is the line? Like where do we draw the line on these types of things? Like for superheroes, it's perfect for that movie. For superheroes, they're self-appointed, they're doing this on their own. We did not appoint them, we did not elect them, we didn't ask for their help. They're stepping in to do it, and we appreciate them for it. But they don't have like anything, which is why the Sokovia Accords would be a good thing. Okay, these are the things we want you to do. Don't step outside of these bounds, and we're all good, right? The Sokovia Accords works on that on that front. But on Cap's side, there could be things and information and other things that are going on that we as the public are not privy to, that we're not going to have time to come to you guys and say, yo, Is it okay if we take an extra step here to do this, whatever? We might not have time to do that. We need to act now. So I tried to say this earlier in another part of the conversation where I was saying, for me personally, as a logical person, if I'm going to give my trust over to these superheroes in all these other instances, and they overstep the bounds of what I want them to do in this instance, this one instance, two instances, or whatever out of 1,000, I'm not going to change my view of that superhero based on that, because it doesn't make sense to do that, especially because I accepted the help in the first place. Which is why, for me, the other part of the conversation, again, I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm only talking about the conversation. The other part of the conversation is, okay, well, why don't we deputize them? Why, like, and I get to this fan in that if this was real life and this was really happening, wouldn't it make sense to deputize them? Like, wouldn't it be like, well, they already working on our behalf as it is. Like, why don't we just give them the legal authority to go do these things?
And the first thing that they would tell that person to do is unmask.
Why?
Because you can't deputize a stranger, because deputization requires actual responsibility on a higher level, though. You understand what I mean? Then you become a cop. Basically, if you get deputized, you become a cop, which means you're open to legal ramifications, meaning that you can be sued by that dude. So if you drop out of the sky and stop a man from raping a woman, and you hit him a little too hard, and maybe you break his clavicle, that dude could probably sue you. And
as a civilian, the same thing can happen.
What?
If you, as a civilian, if you break somebody's jaw, they can sue you.
Yes, which is why the superheroes don't generally have masks and have secret identities, because the secret identities protect them from the crazy people who will do a crime and then turn around and sue that person. Or if I'm stopping this crime over here, and I actually wait, not to make it too much actually, but that doesn't exist because of qualified immunity. But that's a different thing though. That's, once again, you're not going to be able to deputize somebody whose identity you don't know.
Okay, for a second, right?
You just can't.
You've seen Watchmen, right?
Yes.
All right, so it'd be a situation very similar to that. They all know who each other are.
They're cops.
Okay,
yes.
All right. So if I'm deputizing them, they're a part of this police force, so he can unmask for them, but he doesn't need to unmask for the public.
But once again, he's made the decision that he needs a secret identity, because then it's like, well, okay, hold on, you're saying vigilantes wear masks? So, I mean, honestly, yeah, there's a little bit of
I've never seen any superhero say they're wearing a mask because of liability. They say they're wearing a mask to protect their loved ones.
That too.
That's the only reason I've ever heard.
Oh, by the way, that same cop, remember, that same cop had a house invasion, if you recall, in Watchmen. Tried to kill her and her husband.
Yeah, but that was after that was the what do they call it? The White Knight. That was, if they changed the rules to wear masks.
I'm just saying that, but that's a big part of why that they don't.
No, they changed the rules after that happened. To have them not conceal their identities.
Yes, so that people don't hurt their loved ones.
No, so people don't know.
Time out. And would you trust the system to keep your secret identity safe? The same system that you can that's flawed as it is, you would trust that system to keep your identity safe.
If you're going to go to the links to go out here and risk your behind. If you go out here you might as well. What the heck? If you trust the system
that can't keep the Joker in jail,
you're trusting the system to continue to turn them over to the same people to keep letting them go, you got to trust them on everything.
But if you see the flaw in the, you don't think Batman thinks the system is flawed, but he's trying to.
So what the heck he keep using it for?
So once again, what is the suggestion?
You just asked me. What you just asked me
was, he's trying to work within the system, and the system is flawed, and he's aware that the system is flawed, but he's trying to work within the system. And if you're saying, well, if the system is flawed, then what? What is the alternative? The alternative is to be an antihero.
But that's not what you just asked me.
What?
That's not what you just asked me. All I was responding to is what you asked me.
And I'm saying, why would you trust any system of flawed human beings to hold on to your identity?
What I'm saying is, if you're already trying to work within a system that you don't trust in the first place, you might as well go the extra mile and do that. Why wouldn't you? What would be the reason not to?
Because number one, secret identities get out all the time. Literally.
So that's even more reason for you to just show who you are already. If you want them to show who you said the first thing they would ask them to do is take their mask off. And I said that would be fine. It'd be no different than the situation in Watchmen. You do it among them. Then you said, well, why would you want to do it?
They were already cops. But they're not civilians guys. They're okay, time out. Stop. You keep using Watchmen. The people in Watchmen that were wearing masks were already cops. They were already cops.
But the situation that you brought up it was about deputizing them.
And I'm saying that they are not going to deputize somebody who does not want to remove his mask. If Batman clearly does not want to remove his mask for them right now, what makes you think that he would want to do it even if he was deputized? I'm just asking a question.
I already answered the question.
He doesn't want to do it now.
Why I answered. I thought I gave a pretty clear answer on why. What I said is, in this situation, in this scenario, right? The system already doesn't work, but you continue to try to work within it. What would be your reason?
We all do. What? We all try. We all are working within the system.
Ain't about all. You made it about the situation right here in this situation. All I'm talking about is this. Never mind. That's pointless. Let me try to answer.
You just said if the system is
because flawed, I tried to answer your question like 3 times already. It's pointless to continue to talk about it. Nadia, okay, can I ask again why exactly you're trying to deputize? Okay.
Wait, Jerron, you trust the system to ask a vigilante to trust the system to do his job, but you don't trust the system to conceal your identity. This is no, it's not cognitive dissonance. Listen to what I am saying, okay? Because I'm trying not to get frustrated. I really am. The system that I'm talking about is the legal system that is supposed to keep dangerous individuals in jail. That is the system that I am talking about. The other system that regarding keeping his identity safe is literally who do you trust with this information? You gonna give it to Gordon? Okay, give it to Gordon. All right, cool. Vigilantes are avoiding the system. They're avoiding being actual deputized cops because cops have rules and regulations that they have to work within.
And Batman's supposed to do the same thing, according to you.
No, Batman is working not the rules of being an officer. The rule, like Batman doesn't need timeout. Batman doesn't need a search warrant. Batman just goes in and just does it. Like
is that legal?
Guys, they're freaking vigilantes. Of course, none of this is legal.
But you're making the point that me and Brevin have been talking about this whole time. That is the issue with this,
guys.
Which is why you should just go ahead and deputize them in this situation. That's why you should just go ahead and deputize them. Then you don't have these problems.
He's not going to take his mask off. Number one, stop saying deputize him. He's not going to take his freaking mask off. He's not going to do it.
Then he shouldn't be doing it.
You're literally breaking. Guys, it's freaking fantasy. It's fantasy.
So let's just stop having a conversation then.
I'm trying, but here's the thing: you
can't every time the conversation gets to a certain place, you can't just say, "Well, it's fantasy." This entire conversation is based on fantasy.
Yes, it is. But time out, Morgan. Once you read, there is obviously within fantasy. Once you reach a certain point, you're hitting reality, and once you hit that point, once you break through that glass ceiling, then you've shattered the fantasy. It's like the Flash. All right, let's talk about the Flash. Based off the theory of based off physics, the Flash should not be able to do any of the things that he does.
Give me a second.
Hold on, time out. Once you start getting into the hold on. Once you start getting into the science of it, you can try and like massage the science and the science fiction to make it work, but eventually you will reach a glass ceiling where the physics and the science of it don't work.
This isn't that. Let me answer Nadia.
How is it not that? All right.
Because you're making it about because you're acting like the justice system and somebody choosing to wear a mask within the justice you're chalking that up to Flash being able to run really fast and physics not working to explain that. That is not the same thing. It's not the same conversation.
No, what I'm saying to you is that there are certain you can justify and massage things within science fiction and fantasy until you reach a certain point, and then obviously realism comes in and goes, well, obviously, because it's not going to work.
You know what matches for that? People not knowing that Superman is Clark Kent. That matches.
That's a perfect that's exactly that's like Superman. Superman, do you really think the government would be okay with Superman just doing whatever he wants to do? And they just be like, okay, cool, because he's Superman. Like, no, it's not.
That is part of the conversation that we've been having. Yeah, hold on. Let me answer Nadia so that she can get the answer that she wants, and then we can come back to it. Well, I'll let you talk because I'm gonna go give little man his medicine and I'll be back. Javon, can you please let him explain why he wants? Okay, so the reason I brought up deputizing them, Nadia, is because what Amani just said. Let me go back up so it can jog my memory. Amani just said vigilantes are avoiding the system. They are seeking justice outside of the legal system. That I agree with, right? But at the same time, earlier in this conversation, when I was talking about, okay, and Brevin also said that they're self-appointing themselves to go do these things. There's an understanding between the city and the police with, again, let's just use Batman, with Batman that we want your help to try to stop these crimes and you turn them over to us. They're saying that they want their help, but there's no official paperwork on what his limits are, what he can and can't do. There are no limitations. It's a wink and nod. It's a
because he's a vigilante.
It's not a bill of rights. It's not a bill of rights. It's
a vigilante.
Yeah, but I'm trying to. There's a constitutional term that was in my head. I can't think of it right now. But the point is,
because they trust him because he's Superman.
But you just made the point to say, why do you think they would trust him? Yes,
I'm saying if you start to think too much about it, then you break. That's what I'm talking about.
Even in real life, yes, they would do that. Yes.
No, they wouldn't.
Are you kidding me?
Okay, they don't even listen. People look. Barack Obama. Time out. Barack Obama is one of the nicest, cleanest, like spotless free individuals. And there are people that still don't like him and still don't trust him.
Who?
It doesn't matter. Like, that's what I'm saying. Number one, the governments of the world would not be cool with Superman just flying about doing whatever he wants to do. I guarantee you, the governments of the world would not be cool with it.
Okay.
Guarantee you.
Okay.
I would put all my money in the world that it would not be cool.
We just disagree on that. But
it's real world. Like, that's what I'm saying. All these comic books, they work within fantasy and they work with reality up until a certain point. But once you start pushing a little bit, eventually you will hit it. But they can't. Once again, but that's control. They can't control Superman in the comic books. They can't. How they gonna control them? What they gonna do? There's literally a book. There's a book I'm looking at right now called Injustice, where they try to control Superman after he does everything he wants to do, and they can't. And he takes over the freaking world.
Yeah. Nadia, what part of what I said do you need me to go a little bit farther on? Because, okay, like I said, the reason that I was talking about deputizing Batman would be because right now, like Imani said, Batman is working outside of the system. He does not have any set rules to things that he does and what he doesn't do. There's nothing set. There's nothing in paper. There's nothing he signed, and there's no agreement. right? There's nothing legal about anything that has to do with anything concerning Batman and how he operates. There's nothing there. But there is a wink and nod, handshake, backdoor, mind meld thought process as far as what Batman is and is not supposed to do when he goes out there. Now, Javon said earlier that, okay, in the Killing Jokes, for specifically, when Batman was pissed off, Gordon said, make sure you do it by the book, right? So one, that insinuates Batman knows what the book is. Two, it goes back to that line, and he's making sure to say, this is the line that you know you need to cross. Don't cross this line. Whatever that line is, none of us know because it hasn't been talked about, but we assume what it is.
Come on, man. Come on.
We let me finish. We assume what the line is. The reason I said why not deputize him is because if you deputize him, it makes the line clear because he has to abide by, like Javon said, he has to abide by what the police do or whatever paper agreement that they sign to how he's going to go about his business to helping the police. At that point, once he's deputized, now he has the right to do that, but he has the legal right to do those things within that parameter, but he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to be within those parameters. Then Javon said, I'm saying if you deputize, okay, the reason I'm saying if you deputize, the reason I brought up deputize is because if Batman is deputized, he has a clear set of rules that he can and cannot, of things that he can and cannot do. Right now, because he's not deputized, he does not. And it's a wink and a nod, and whatever happens goes. And now it's just up to his moral compass that we're all saying we trust to make a decision on what's right and what's wrong. So that's part of my other conversation about where the line is. And why I said, for me personally, the interesting part is where that line is and how we determine where that line is for ourselves. Because me personally, if Batman saved our behinds, if he saved Gotham City 1 million times, and the millionth and one time he goes ahead and kills Joker, I'm not going to second guess it. I'm not going to think he's any less of a hero. He's already saved us 1 million times. If he killed this dude, he must have deserved it. That's what I would think.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask you a question? Do you think deputized people can kill criminals?
Under certain circumstances, yes. That's why
you need to look up what being deputized means.
But that would be.
I think you need to look it up.
But that would be counterproductive to what the vigilante.
I think you need to look up what deputized actually means.
Okay, well, let me use a different word. If Batman was acting within the parameters given by the city that he was protecting or the police department that he was helping, if he was acting within any type of parameters that were given by the people that he says he's there to help, that's all I'm talking about. So if deputized doesn't cover that, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about whatever means he needs to go through, whatever paperwork he needs to sign to say, these are the rules that I have to abide by in order to do what I'm doing and help you guys with this crime problem. If he doesn't do those things, then everything is up to his discretion.
But the whole point of Batman is he's able to do certain things that police can't do to get the criminals that they need to get. And once you become deputized, you can't do those things anymore.
Unless you it's so let's not use,
you won't be able to.
Let's not use deputized.
If you're a deputized person, you can't break into somebody's house just to get clues. You can't do that.
Let's not use deputized. It would be like somebody going undercover. Then when you're undercover,
even undercover, you can't do certain things.
But who defines what those certain things are?
The police do.
All right, bet. So that's what I'm talking about this entire time. Bro. All I'm talking about this entire time is that the fact that what Amani said, he's acting on his own to make his own decisions and at his own discretion.
Yes, right now, I've never said that that's not true.
All right. So my only point that I'm saying is that if he was to sign something that instead of having it loose as far as what he can do and what he can't do, I don't care whether you say deputized. I don't care whether there needs to be a written agreement that says there needs to be a written agreement of what he can and cannot do. And in that written agreement, you could say, okay, if in this situation, we can't go break into that house to get the information, you can. We give you that discretion. We give you that power to go do that because we trust you to not step over the line. Because ultimately, if you can give him that power, it's because you trust him, I would imagine. If you didn't trust him, why you do it?
What happens when Batman needs to do something and because he's deputized, they tell him, nah, you can't do it.
That's exactly what the Sokovia. That's why I brought up the Civil War. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's why I said the conversation's interesting.
But that's
to
why
me
they
there,
work
as far as when
outside
Peter's
of the law, though. That is part of the fantasy of the hero being able to work outside of the law. Luke Cage, let's not use Batman.
Keep going. I'm gonna
Cage
give
is
little
not
man
a
his
cop.
medicine. Keep going. I'm gonna give little man his medicine.
Okay, cool. Luke Cage is not a cop. Okay, Luke Cage works with his own moral value. Luke Cage literally gets paid to do things, and he works outside of the law. People, like, all this is fantasy. Like, I'm trying not to be condescending, but the point of the matter is you can't press too hard up against fantasy against reality, because it will break and it won't make sense. It won't make sense for Batman to be able to do all this stuff and the police just be like, all right, well, I'm gonna turn my back to it. Like, it's unrealistic, but it's because it's a fantasy, we go along with it. Yes, exactly. Not even as an audience, that's not really true though, because it depends on the character. As with the Punisher, the audience is more than okay with the Punisher smoking everybody in his way. We never think twice about it. We never think twice. We never think twice when Wolverine carves up people. We don't really care. Like, because it's Wolverine and that's the character, that's why we're okay with it. But for Superman, who's trying to be better, trying to show humanity, trying to be the best part of humanity and show what humanity can be, we don't want him to do those type of things, because those are on the negative side of humanity. And Batman is on that same line. Batman is trying to show police this is the way it can be done, and this is how it should be done. Because the police, 9 times out of 10, a lot of the police in Gotham are crooked. So he has to be better. Now, once you start talking about deputizing and qualified immunity and all that other stuff, you are pushing you're pushing the fantasy up against reality, and it doesn't fit, and it will never fit. Number one, because you can't deputize somebody who's not going to remove their mask. And then once Batman removes his mask and then is known to the police as Bruce Wayne, then the fantasy is shattered, and it's not Batman anymore. It's something else. It's the same thing. Daredevil could have been a cop instead of being a lawyer, but then it's not Daredevil anymore. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't apply too much realism to comic books or comic book characters, because it won't fit and it won't work. And that's why the character Batman doesn't kill, because we don't want Batman to kill, because once Batman kills, then it's not Batman anymore. He might as well be the Punisher. That's all I'm saying. Superman can't, because we see him as a god, him being violent. Exactly. Like, Superman is trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Superman is trying to engender trust within humanity. And once he starts executing people and showing violence towards humanity in a way, in using his abilities in an overly violent way, then we just go, okay, then the fantasy starts to break, and he's no longer this person that we can trust. He's this godlike being who can snuff us out at any point. Is to put them in restraints of the law, and that, yes, it defeats the purpose. Yes, to have Batman have to follow the law and the letter of police and police procedures doesn't make him Batman anymore. It's like James Bond. We don't want James Bond. We like James Bond because he can bend the rules and we like that. That's why we like watching Die Hard, because the character can bend the rules and he doesn't have to act like a cop all the time. Like, that's what the audience likes, as Imani pointed out. That's all I'm trying to say, is you can't think too hard about it, because once you get into the minutia and you start talking about paperwork that you're talking about paperwork that Batman is going to sign. What's he going to sign it? Batman? Like, once he removes his mask to the police, he's just an outside consultant. And then once again, then you're talking about, now that's a great story if you want to create your own character and show what Batman would be if he became deputized. But then it's not Batman anymore. It's this new character. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Like you just can't apply too much realism to comic books, because then it folds and it collapses under its own weight, because the fantasy can't support the reality that way. I'm sorry, you missed all that. My bad. Like once you start talking, like the point I just made was, you can create this Batman-like character and tell the story of what would happen if he would be deputized, but then it really no longer becomes Batman anymore, because Batman operates outside the law, but within the moral compass of the law. If that makes any sense. Like he operates outside the law to get to basically get things done faster, but he exists within the what's the word I'm looking for? The best version of the moral compass of the law. Like what the law is supposed to be, that's the moral compass that he tries to exist within, which is why he doesn't kill, which is why he's not supposed to be overly violent.
So that's pointless. I was getting ready to ask something that goes back down that rabbit hole.
No, go ahead. I don't have a problem.
It's no point to it. Like I said, the interesting part of that conversation and thought process to me is, because for me personally, I don't look for my heroes to kill people. But I am.
But you're comfortable with them doing it.
I'm comfortable with. So the reason I say I would. So the reason I say I would be comfortable with it is because of what we were just talking about. Like if I've trusted this hero, and I said it a lot of times, I'm not saying Batman should kill. I don't care whether he does or not. I could care less. I think people that watch this show know at this point I'm big on intent. So if this person's acting within, like you said, the best version of those things, like the moral code or moral compass or whatever, what I'm saying is, logically speaking, for me personally, if Superman, Batman, Captain America, uh, um, Hawkeye, if they were fighting to save us and ended up killing somebody in the process to do it, not necessarily intending to, they didn't start out trying to defend us intending to kill anybody. But it was necessary in order for them to save a life, or it was necessary in order for them to do something faster, or they wanted a time constraint. I don't care what the stipulation is. If I trust them enough to try to save me without being and do that and do so outside of the law, then I'm not gonna all of a sudden turn on them for me personally and say they're not a hero because of the way that they went about it. To me, the heroic part is them sacrificing, putting themselves on the line for my benefit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what to me makes cops heroes, when they're going about things in the proper fashion. The only time I have an issue, I have no issues with cops whatsoever, and I would support cops at all fronts when they're doing things as they're supposed to. The only thing I disagree with policing is when there's no accountability. Police are absolutely positively heroes. Firefighters are absolutely positively heroes, because when an emergency comes, you call them and they don't know you from Adam. They have no personal connection to you whatsoever at all, but they're going to put themselves in the place of danger in your stead, one, to either save your life, or two, save your loved ones or whatever. They're stepping in and doing something and putting their lives on the line for you in that instance, and they don't know you at all and have no stakes in the race outside of the fact that you called them for help and they're there to help. That is heroism at its best. It's amazing. And for them to put their lives, for them to know daily that could be asked of them on that day, and that they signed up to go do that, that's what makes that person heroic. If somebody got hurt in the process, as long as they didn't intend to do that before they got there, it is what it is. Like if a police officer shows up to my house at the end of the night or in the middle of the street, I don't care where the F I am. If I call the police for help and the police show up to help me and they kill somebody in the process of trying to help me because that person wouldn't stop or that person, whatever the stipulation is, I don't think any less of that cop. I thank God for that cop. So in a situation where it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, I don't give a D who it is. If they show up and they're defending us and this whole city is on fire, but they out there fighting and they killing people in the process to do so, you know what I mean? Like, if the people are opposing them to cause me harm, F them. You know what I'm saying? They made that decision themselves to put themselves in that situation. If Superman decides I'm gonna burn his eye sockets out because he put himself on this side of it, his story before he hit that moment is not important at that moment. I mean, you should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is a such thing as wrong place, wrong time. You know what I'm saying? Especially in situations of crimes. If your best friends, if all of y'all are poor, your best friends decide to rob a house that night because you're poor, I get it, and I would feel really bad if the person inside that house shot you. But oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like you knew the risk that you were taking when you did it, and I mean, I don't know if that makes me callous or not, but I just don't. You know what I'm saying? If I was speeding one night, drinking and driving, or any of those things, and I killed somebody in the process, I'm not gonna go to court and say, please don't put me in prison because this is my first time. I've never done it before. I'm not going to make that argument, bro. I killed somebody's loved one, and I knew what the consequences were when I did that, and I knew what they could be, and it's the worst case scenario for me, so I got to pay for that. It is what it is. That's just the way I think about things. So if I think that way about myself, of course I expect that from everybody else out here. Whether that's fair to everybody else or not is I don't really care about that. So that's and my line still falls the same with heroes. I don't. That's why I said. That's why I captured the conversation as what it was: heroes versus anti-heroes. Because that line is interesting to me.
Can I? So let me say this: a lot of the heroes that you're bringing up, they're generally supposed to be idealized versions of what we aspire to be as heroes. And a lot of that has to do with cherishing life on all levels, right? Like good guys or bad guys, and a lot of it is also from a writer's point of view and what makes a more compelling story. And a lot of the compelling story is the hero is struggling with the moral, conundrum of, well, should I all right, let me give you a better version. Like Daredevil. I'm gonna use the Daredevil TV show from Netflix.
I just watched it. I finished it earlier today. They did an incredible job.
Right. And a huge portion of the Daredevil show was him basically going, man, I really probably should kill Fisk, but I really shouldn't kill Fisk because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that type of person. Like, I don't want to take a life like that. It's a moral conundrum that's part of the fabric of the idealized hero. And that's why if you really look at it, if you're honest with if you look at history, the heroes up until maybe the 80s, maybe the 70s or 80s, were all of that ilk. They were all the don't kill, optimum, life is precious heroes. Superman, Batman, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Captain America, even Iron Man for a certain point was like that. All those heroes had that do not kill mentality because that's kind of what comics had evolved to. They were supposed to be idealized versions of what we wanted heroes to be. Around like the 70s and the 80s is when you saw the anti-heroes, the Wolverines, the Punishers, actually 70s, 80s, and 90s. Because you had, Spawn, all these guys that were willing to take that next step and that final solution of, well, you know what, this guy is just too bad. I'm gonna take care of him and kill him. Which is ironic because even a lot of these characters had rogues galleries that kept coming around. Even they would get killed, they would be resurrected or whatever. But historically, the 70s, 80s, 90s ushered in those anti-heroes. That's where they came from. And you could look at society on a larger level and understand that there was a, you know, not for black people, because for black folks it was tougher, obviously from start to finish. But for white people, you know, they think of the 50s and the 60s as very like innocent times, you know, like they're innocent, you know, that's why they call it like the greatest generation. And that's why, you know, there's so many movies about back in that time, because people felt like it was innocent, and you know, things were black and white, and there were good guys and there were bad guys. Once the 70s, 80s, and 90s hit, then the grays got mixed in there, which is why you got the Punishers and the Wolverines and the Spawns and Cable and Deadpool and all these characters, because the grays kind of seeped in, and the reality seeped into the fantasy. And that's why you got guys that were more willing to step over that line. And obviously now we're at a point where these idealized versions of heroes and then these anti-heroes that are born within the grays of life exist together. And that's why you have the conversations that we're having right now, because there are a lot of people that are more than okay with the grays. Like, you are somebody that you're okay with the grays. You're okay with the hero going, listen, I have tried my damnedest to, yes, Vietnam War, absolutely. Try my damnedest to save this person or to put this person away, and they keep coming back. So let me pop my claws, put 3 in his head, and call it a day. Like, you are okay with that. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm not saying that's wrong, and I've never said that that's wrong. Like, there's certain people that navigate their way towards us. I tend to like the idealized versions of a hero. I like a hero that struggles to save everybody, you know, and that's why I enjoy Daredevil, because Daredevil is a kind of this character that has over time kind of dwelled within the gray, but kept the idealized moral compass, and which I thought the show did a great job of showing, of this guy who's trying not to be overly violent, but finds that the world requires him to be overly violent, but he refuses to take that next step and kill somebody. And so I understand like what you're saying. Like, I'm not telling you you're wrong in what you like and what you value. And what you value is the guy that's like, this family's life here, you know, this innocent family's life here is worth more than this, you know, the Joker over here. So let me take care of him so that this family could live to see another day. And I'm saying I prefer the hero that's like, this family's life means a lot, but I don't want to take that next step to kill this person, because then it becomes very easy, and it's easy to slip into the gray. It's easy to be like, well, you know, Two-Face might come out again, so let me, you know, slice his neck, let me slice his throat with this batarang. Like, you can just it's easy to start making that, you know, it's like you take one cigarette, you know, and it might call for a little bit, and you might, oh, I don't like that, but the nicotine might get you, and then you might want to do it again and do it again and do it again. And I think that's the logic that is behind Batman and his moral compass. And it has been for like years now. Like, Batman is like, if I do this, it becomes easy, and then I can just keep doing it. And once again, there comes a point where I'm just a vigilante meting out, you know, I'm just judge, jury, and executioner, whereas he values life. And I don't think there's anything wrong with valuing everybody's life. That's Superman. Superman values everybody's life. And, you know, he could have nuked Lex Luthor years ago. But once again, it's the line between being a hero and being basically a tyrant, which is why I've been reading Injustice. And I think Injustice does a very good job of showing Superman going, well, you know what? It was easy to kill the Joker. I can do this now. Well, I can do this now. I can do this now. You know, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling you you're wrong now, and I want to apologize if you feel like this. I was telling you that what you felt and how you felt about heroes crossing that line is wrong. I didn't want that. That's not what I was trying to do. I was trying to make the point on why Batman doesn't cross the line and why he shouldn't cross the line, because there are characters that already cross the line, and that you don't differentiate between the two if he does cross the line.
No, I think, like I said, the thing that makes the conversation and the thought process interesting to me is uh, where the line is for different people. One, but the other part that I really struggle with is if I were in, like I can only tell you what I would do if I was in Batman's shoes. At a certain point, I could say for me personally, I would at some point feel responsible. I feel like it would be cowardly of me to know that people are dying every time Joker gets out. Know that I could do something about it or feel like I have not. It would destroy me more for me to feel like there has to be something else that I can do to keep this man from killing these people every time he gets out. It would destroy me as a person, which is why I would have to walk away or I'm gonna kill this guy. Those are my two options, though. There ain't no middle for me. Like, I'm not gonna continue for 10 years watching somebody destroy families, destroy lives countless times, and I just keep looking over to the cops and saying, "You guys have to do better." At some point, there's no way possible that I am not gonna feel responsible.
But
That's what
that's
I'm saying.
right,
So,
and
so at that point, I'm gonna be like, I love you guys. I will continue to support you, but I'm gonna have to hang it up, and I probably need to move. I can leave you money since he's rich. I can leave you money to get this together. I trust, like in Dark Knight. You know what I'm saying, Harvey? I trust you to try
hold
to
on,
fix this,
keep
and I'll help
talking.
you fix this. Um, the only part I actually disagree with is saying Batman was complicit in Joker's decision. I'm not saying he's complicit in Joker's decision. Let me be clear. I am what I just explained is what I'm saying. If I was in Batman's shoes, there's no way that for me personally, I would not think that I am complicit in these people's deaths because I continue to turn this guy over to people that I know can't handle him, and they've proven it to me countless times that they can't handle him. And every time they prove they can handle him, more people die. It will be impossible for me to separate me being somewhat complicit in that because I continue to I know I know before I turn Joker in, he's going to get out again, and when he does, more people are going to die. To me, that is the balance. The balance for me is I'm not saying Joker's life isn't valuable, but it's to bring it to a real world situation. It's coronavirus, vaccinated people versus unvaccinated people. I said from the beginning of the virus, when the pandemic started, I said this is going to end up being about rights, but whose rights end up getting lost? Because if I, as a vaccinated person, is wearing a mask, right? Me being vaccinated and wearing a mask is not even close to doing you harm. It, I'm trying to do everything I can to possibly make it absolutely impossible for me to do you harm. That's the whole reason I'm wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask for me by itself. I'm wearing a mask to protect you from me. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason I'm wearing the mask. You can disagree with it all you want, but that's what they're saying right now. That's what I'm wearing this mask for. The people that don't believe in wearing masks and don't believe in getting vaccinated, that's fine and that's your choice. But whose rights? Somebody's rights are going to get infringed on, and somebody's got to live with the fact that their rights are getting infringed on. And that to me is the same rub with the Joker. Yes, he has the right to life, but do you have the how long do you have the right to life when you continue to take other people's lives? And if I'm in the middle of it, I'm either going to have to take myself out of the middle of it, or I'm going to have to take things into my own hands to stop this because I've given you guys the option to stop it and keep this man from killing people, and you're not doing it. So I would make it clear to Gordon and say, look, I'm telling you now before this happens, if this dude gets out again, if he gets out again and he's getting ready to harm people again, I'm going to end it. And if you're not okay with me doing that, I need to leave. and I understand that that's what you want to do and you want to work in the legal system. I will stay and help you fix this legal system. I will donate money to make sure that this prison is that you can't escape. But what I'm telling you, I cannot deal with and will not deal with is more people dying because of this dude. I am not allowing it. I value his life. I value their life, but his life does not get to weigh more than their lives. So that is literally is not mathematically. It doesn't mathematically make sense. Doesn't logically make sense. I get it. All life matters. You're absolutely correct. But at some point, you're weighing that one person's life over thousands of people's lives, and that does not make any sense on any level.
Okay.
So
Let me say this then. These are my three things I'm gonna say, and then I'm gonna go because it's late. Number one, you how do I put this? The whole point, you being like, well, if y'all don't do this, then I'm done. Okay, cool. But the whole point of the journey is, and it's kind of corny, but
Please log in to the Google Home app.
The whole point of the journey is the never-ending battle. You ever, Superman, the never-ending battle. Like that's the whole point of comic books. The hero never gives up. The whole I can do this all day. Like that's kind of you don't give up. Like you keep fighting. Like that's the whole point. Number two, once again you're kind of pushing up against reality again. You're pushing fantasy up against reality, which is like I said, you and I've said that up enough. But also number three, while Nadia makes the point, within your particular moral compass, that makes sense to you. But in Batman's moral compass, because of what Gotham means to him, he can't just quit. Like the whole point of Batman is he's not gonna quit. Like he'll keep going, regardless of what Christopher Nolan tells you. Batman will keep fighting. He will die being Batman. Like that's his whole thing. Batman won't retire. Like Batman will die being Batman. Like that's just who he is. Like he won't quit just because Joker keeps getting out.
it's not about him getting out. It's because Joker keeps killing people. That's the problem.
He's gonna if he keeps getting out, that's why he's killing people. You understand what I'm saying here?
Yes, but all I'm telling you is
You're
again,
pushing. Okay.
Again, okay, then let's just leave it to fantasy.
Okay.
The only point to this conversation being interesting to me at all, I don't give a crap about the fantastical part of it. It's the realism within the fantasy. That's where the conversation is for me. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Because
but I mean, your character, but I credit you in that you have your own character who has a moral compass that's more in line with what you believe in. Like your character would smoke Joker. Like, but what I'm saying is like, right? I'm saying I credit you because there are a lot of people who complain and complain about Batman or whatever, and they just complaining. Whereas you have a character who you've said, I want to see what it's like to have a character who has a moral compass more in line with the realism that I believe should be entailed with a hero.
Yeah, I mean that in our universe, that is the paradox.
Right.
That is the rub between him and Ace Blade. So,
and that's what I'm saying. Like you are telling a story. You are telling a story that helps visualize what you believe, and that's what I'm giving you credit on. Like but and on the opposite, like I said, I have Heat, where I have Heat, and if you read any of my books, he struggles with I should just kill this dude. You know what I mean? Like, but the hero in him, his ideal of a hero is the hero has to find another way. Like nobody has to die. Now I can also go and find and tell a story of a hero with a more flexible or moral compass who believes what, not everybody deserves life, and that hero is just as valid as my hero. I mean, I might not be a big fan of that hero, even if I'm writing it, but it's an exercise in writing. But like I said, I'm not a big fan of the heroes with the morally gray the flexible morality to that level. Like, I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not saying that they aren't valid heroes. I'm just saying that I'm not a big fan of them. I can
Yeah,
read their stories every now and again, but like, but even, like Black Panther. Black Panther will kill, but I like Black Panther. But he's not like he's gonna kill everybody. You know what I mean? Like, he's dealt with Killmonger more than once, and they ain't killed him in the comics. In the movie, obviously he does it, but that he's trying his best not to kill Killmonger, and Killmonger is like, I'm gonna kill you, which is, but once again, it's a different type of morality because he's a king and his character is a king, and it's a whole different thing because kings are known, kings kill, have no problem with sentencing people to death. Like, that's just it's a different mentality than, say, Peter Parker, 16, 17-year-old kid who, lives by the creed, he doesn't want anybody to die, period.
but that's a part of where I think the
It's just
conversation is
different
interesting because
people.
I don't think that those Punisher does, which is why, like I said, like when I think about Punisher, I'm thinking about Punisher in the way of Punisher is the blunt force end of repercussions for somebody's actions. He's God. He's God finally sending the sickle. Like that's what Punisher is. You know what I'm saying? And for that function, I get it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Sometimes the angel of death got to go through slashing people. I mean, that is what it is. God did that. God killed all the firstborn to make an example, right? So the Bible is not a.
But they're all different characters. Like, you can't. Not every character is going to have the same moral compass. They're not all going to have the same sensibilities. You know what I mean? Like
I
Daredevil.
agree, and
Daredevil.
I don't think they should.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand you making the point about Batman and the Joker, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Punisher ain't gonna have time for Joker's nonsense. Punisher about to
Nope,
murk him, and
100%.
right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why you have the different
Correct.
stories. You have.
That's what Nadia just said is a part of what I'm saying and why the conversation is interesting because like you said you find it interesting because I'm a Christian and Jesus gave up, gave his life or what, what I'm saying, for everybody else. I get it. But I read and believe and agree with a whole lot of different examples in the Bible from a whole lot of different people. Like Nadia made a good point earlier. If Saul had been prosecuted, he wouldn't have had a chance to become Paul because maybe he gets killed. I get it. But at the same time, do I think that would be unjust? Not at all. No.
Right, but
Because
I'm
not,
never
not
challenging
to
you on that,
mention
though.
not to mention in that example, Jesus told him when he talked to Saul, he said, I'm going to show you what things you must suffer for my name's sake. So it wasn't like Saul was getting ready to go out there, and Saul ended up paying for the things that he had done and the Christians that he had killed by, number one, the lives that he saved, but two, the suffering he had to do in order to go save those lives. So it still was a balance to it. Or like one of my favorite scriptures in the entire Bible is in Jeremiah, where God talks where God is having a conversation with Jeremiah, where it's a reasoning session. He's saying, like for those who I really love that scripture. That's something I'm going to bring out in Lumberjacks, like where God talks about how I can't. I want to say Jeremiah 30. I have to look it up and put it up later, but he's talking about how if you lived a whole life full of sin, uh, no, he starts on the good side. He said if you lived a whole life full of good, but at the end you ended up living in sin, then you think it's unjust for you to end up going to hell. But on the flip side of that, that's you absolving. I mean, that's you leaving out the flip side, which is you could have lived a whole life full of sin turn to me at the end, and now you have life. And God said, you would say the balance is unfair, but you're not looking at it from the reciprocal point. You know what I'm saying? I want you to choose life. I want you to choose life and live. If you've been in sin and you've been doing these things, I'm giving you every chance to repent until you draw your last breath. I'll give you every chance to repent and come live with me. We saw that in action in the New Testament with Jesus and the thief on the cross. He said, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." All before that, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I should be up here. You shouldn't be up here. That whole conversation. That's why the conversation is beautiful. And Jesus forgives him and says, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." But the paradox of it is, depending on what side of the coin you're on at the time, what God said is absolutely correct. Because you would think it's unjust for you to live a good life all this time, but you died in the sin and now you're in hell. People would be pissed about that because they're not looking at it from the inverse. So, like, when it comes to these superhero conversations, I think it's the same thing. Because, like, I don't think if in Wolverine's case he's willing to go the extra mile to kill somebody if he has to, it's not because he set out to do it. It's not because he doesn't value life. It's just that, like Nadia made a point about the moral compass. Yeah, everybody's moral compass is different, but I don't think their moral compass is being different mean they value life any less. I think where you start to value life less is because, again, I mean, shoot, you got to put your own life into that too. Like in the thing with God just now, you got to put your own life into that too. So, like, if you, me and my coworkers had a good conversation about this as police officers. If
Hey,
I'm a police
I got to
officer,
take off, man. I got to take off. We could definitely pick this up at another point. But
yeah, I'll finish the point and then I'll get off.
All right, take care, everybody.
All right, y'all. Me and my coworker were just having a conversation about this like a week or two ago, and I'll say this and I'll be finished. As a police officer, if I'm arresting, if like the Dante Wright case is a Kim Potter was guilty, and if we need to talk about that at another time, I will. She was guilty. There's no question about it for what she did. What I was speaking on, though, is that if I'm a police officer, I pulled you over, I'm arresting you. Uh, your arms are behind your back. I'm putting the handcuffs on you. You decide to break the handcuffs and get into your car. You know what I'm saying? You're going into your car. If I'm the police officer, I got a split-second decision to make now because I have no idea why you're going into your car and I don't know what you have in your car. So, if the most logical thing, if that person gets into their car, is that, according to my friends, you know what I'm saying, the most logical thing is they're trying to get to that car so they can drive away, not to harm you. What my point was, as a police officer, I don't know that. But what I do know in this moment is that if they are getting back into their car to grab a weapon, if I move slow or if I give them that benefit of the doubt, and I don't have my gun out because I don't see a gun yet, I don't have my gun up because I don't see a gun yet, and then they turn around and shoot me, now I just pretty much gave my life at the expense of their life because I gave them that extra trust, and now it's cost me my life. So, now, again, y'all know me. For those of y'all who follow me, you know where I stand on these things. So don't take that and act like I'm saying it is in somebody unarmed deserves to be shot by the cops. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we can't always not put ourselves in the cop's shoes. In a split-second decision in that situation, it's your life or theirs. That's where I think all people, all citizens, if that cop was on the up and up, which is why body cameras should be welcomed by anybody. Because at that point, the cops that are doing what they're supposed to do and are trying to do everything by the book and they're trying to do the right things and do what they were trained to do, properly trained to do, I'll say, because we know there's some stupid training out there. If they're acting within that, then all of us justify, look, we get that you were scared. You know what I'm saying? We get that you were scared. It's unfortunate that happened. But we know the issue is that unarmed people, especially black people, get killed for no reason when we're not even doing nothing near none of those things. Those are the issues where it's something different. In the Dante Wright case, it was wrong. She was wrong because she specifically trained everybody to do exactly the opposite of what she ended up doing herself needlessly. So she was guilty on all fronts in that regard. Um, but you can pull your gun out and put it up, but you're not supposed to shoot until you know. Agreed. I agree. Um, so that's what all I'm saying is if I'm in that cop's shoes, in that split second, I had to make a decision whether it's him or me. I'm not saying shoot him, but you better believe my gun's gonna be up if they decide to do that, and then I'm not gonna give you too much leeway on. It still becomes a sketchy area though. You see what I'm saying, Nadia? Like if their body is hunched over into the car, I got my gun up. I don't know whether they're going for a gun or not. They turn around because I've seen videos both ways. I've seen a video. I watched a video where that cop did and it was a white cop with a black woman. Uh, he did everything he was supposed to do. He did everything by the book. He begged her not to get back in the car. He told her not to do it. You know what I'm saying? Over and over again. He allowed her to continue to do what she was doing, even though he was telling her not to. She got back in the car. He didn't know what she was getting in the car for. They started fighting back and forth. Next thing you know, she did go back in there to get a gun. She turned around, shot him like 9 times. He ended up shooting her back, and I don't remember if he died or not. I know she did. But in that case, that's the point that I'm making. Like you seriously have no idea what they're going back in their car for. You really don't. So in that situation, yeah, you got your gun up, but you have to know ahead of time that you could be wrong by giving this person the benefit of the doubt, and your life's on the line, which is why I said they're heroes. You see what I'm saying? And there's no question that cops are heroes in my mind if they are abiding by the laws and the things that we as the citizenry want them to be, need them to be, and have the laws in place to be. The only time I have an issue is when you're moving out and when there's no accountability for you doing the wrong things. That's the only time I have an issue. But there's no doubt in my mind, no nothing in my mind that cops are heroes without question. Because again, firefighters are heroes without question because they, our soldiers. You know what I'm saying? They're heroes without question because they're putting their life on the line for us. They don't even know us, and they're doing it on a regular basis. And that is literally the definition of heroism. Um, yeah, that's my point. You know what I'm saying? Like you exactly. If they go back into the car, I have no idea. I don't know if they're trying to drive away. I don't know if they're trying to grab a gun. I don't know if they're trying to grab a bat. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea. But I do know for fact that my life is possibly on the line. Um, and that's why it's a really hard. That is one of the reasons that they still have qualified immunity. But in the system that we have today, qualified immunity is only working. It's not been. Now again, my number one is my number one because of the progress that I've seen. These three cases that I brought up today would not have gone. Number one, I do think cameras are huge. Shoot, if I wanted to put a number one on something, maybe I should have put cameras on phones. Because if it was not for these cameras, neither of the three of these cases would have gone the way that it did. Ahmaud Arbery would not have ended the way that it did without that video footage. If Roddy Bryant had not have recorded what they did, that case would not have gone that way, and those people would have gotten off just the same as that idiot criminal woman that knew the freaking father from when they worked together police days. She had no intention on arresting them, which is why they were out for 2 months and some change before the GBI got involved because we protested. Thank God we protested. That's why that was my number one this year. My number one this year was the movement and people caring about people of all races and colors. It meant that anytime I see races and genders and creeds and orientations coming together to stand for justice for everybody else means the world to me. Brings tears to my eyes every time it happens. So watching the George Floyd protests happen worldwide this year made my everything. It was awesome. All those young kids, white, black, Asian, it didn't matter. None of that mattered, bro. Everybody was mounting up because what they saw was wrong, and they wanted to make sure that everybody knew that it was wrong and that it needed to change. And that's the only reason that things ended up in the way they did, especially for Ahmaud Arbery. If it was not for protests with Ahmaud Arbery, they would have gotten off, and there's no question about it. None, because they did not arrest them. The cops came and questioned them and let them go home. You know what I'm saying? They let them go home bloody, all that, with the body still laying in the freaking street. They let them go home. They had no intention on arresting them. And they arrested them because of the hell that got raised for Ahmaud Arbery and it going viral online. The only reason the GBI got involved was because of the social push everywhere in the country and globally for that to happen. And thank God for it. You know what I'm saying? So the Ahmaud Arbery case, George Floyd, and Dante Wright, those cases going the way they did, huge. Of course, we still got to wait on the sentencing for Kim Potter. You know what I'm saying? To see what they actually sentence her with. But that was my number one for the year because that warmed my heart in all kinds of ways. January 6th didn't warm my heart. It didn't warm my heart, but it happened, and I'm glad that it happened in a way. I'm not glad for the lives that were lost at all. What I mean is the display of the stark difference in how things are handled based on who's doing it, because we all know how that would have ended had it been Black Lives Matter out there. We all know what would happen. It would, and the sad part is we do all know, and seeing how things are moving with that. Do I think they should move differently? Do I know they will move differently given different circumstances? So that part I can't really say excites me much. But those cases, those three, you know, man, Derek Chauvin and Ahmaud Arbery, you know, them being guilty. Oh man, you talking about? Yeah, those were huge for me. Um, that's definitely my number one for the year. I mean, there's nothing to touch me more this year than those things because one, it took all of us to get them to come to be. Two, it shows just the generational differences, you know, that are starting to take hold and gives me some hope um, in humanity in our country. Um, uh, yeah, those are my number ones. The superhero conversation we can circle back to that another time because like I said, there's so many conversations you can have within that. But that is an interesting thing, and that's definitely one of the things that I'm exploring with Lumberjacks and the other comments that I have in our universe. Um, yep, exactly. Exactly. So I appreciate y'all listening as always, man. Y'all, help continue to spread the word. Thank y'all so much, man. This was in my heart for a while doing this show, and I'm glad that we finally started it and made the progress that we did. Still got a long way to go, production wise, especially, and things like that. And I look forward to it. Uh, I agree. I agree with that, and that's one of the really encouraging things that I have seen this year that I really love. It's our responsibility to make sure our kids are better than we are, and the generations that are before us. Thank God for the strength of the generations. My grandmother's generation, my mom's generation, and then I don't want us to be the weak link, and it's our time now to start making those decisions. Uh, Voting wise, especially, it's our time to start making these decisions to on where this country goes and to show our kids the way that we want things to go and the way they should go. It's the biggest responsibility we're gonna have in our lives, and it's our time to step up to do it. And I personally applaud and thank everybody that I know that has that type of heart to teach their kids the right thing, to destroy racism, to destroy hate, to destroy, uh, you know, all the hatred of homosexuality and taking it out on homosexuality and transgender and stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you and what you got going on at all. They minding their business doing them, and you making sure you spend time to hate on them or kill them or hurt them or whatever and think that that's cool because that's what used to be cool. Nah, we off that. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad to see those changes. I'm glad to see the changes, with the misogyny and all of that type of stuff. And it's not where it should be. You know what I'm saying? But we 100% are making steps in the right direction and on all those fronts to do those things and passing that down to our kids. And I really believe strongly in our responsibility to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure our kids are continuing to move in that direction. Because it's not about your religious whatever. Not in America. It's not. Um, Not in America. It's not. There's a separation of church and state for that reason. You can be whatever religion you want to be for that reason. Uh, like that's what this country's about. On paper, we know there's issues, but on paper, that's what the country's about. Those things exist for a reason. So we're not about to be those idiots that go and do something else. Um, but yeah, it's really our responsibility to do that. And I'm proud of these kids, man. I'm proud of that generation. Those TikTokers that took the TikTok to go to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Find creative ways to do these things. God knows we got a lot of work ahead of us. God knows we do. But I was very encouraged by those things. I'll put the poll up. Uh, I'll put the poll up in a little bit. I'm gonna go check on little man one time, one more time before I lay down. But thank y'all again, man. Continue to spread the word. We'll be back next Tuesday in the new year, first show of the new year, and it's our 25th episode. I might drop some confetti or something. And like I said, I definitely want to make sure yeah, that was awesome. I definitely want to make sure I step up the production this coming year. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping at some point I can get somebody that will um, produce the podcast. You know what I'm saying? So we do the show. I got somebody that's posting the captions and responding to things, and we get a countdown video. We get an outro. You know what I'm saying? I want to work on getting those things done to step the scale up of the production. So uh, yeah, I appreciate y'all, man. Please continue to spread the word. If you like what we're doing, you can always give us suggestions. We love y'all, man. So happy we started this, and see y'all next week. Happy New Year.